the catechism. Go look it up in the catechism.
What does the Bible say about immigrants?
It doesn't have to say anything about it.
You're not a real Christian then.
No,
what was the page number? What was the page number?
It was paragraph 2241, I believe.
All right. Because the Bible says, welcome the immigrant as a citizen, since you were once an immigrant in the land of Egypt. So, just letting you know.
Yeah, it says that in Leviticus, or was still under Levitical law. Do you know the distinction between Leviticus?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Why would you bring that up?
Of course I do. Is God the same? Is God the same today for yesterday, today, and tomorrow?
Is he the same? Yeah, he's the same in his nature.
Okay, then so you're saying that you can cherry pick which parts of the Bible you want to follow.
I didn't even quote the Bible. What are you talking about?
Okay, Catechism of the Catholic Church 2241. The more prosperous nations are obliged to extend, they are able to welcome the foreigner in search of the security and the means of livelihood which he cannot find in his country of origin. You fucking liar.
No, just keep reading.
You fucking liar. Liar. Oh, dog walked again by Diva. Dog walked again. Public authority should see to it that the natural right is respected that places a guest under the protection of those who receive him. Should I keep reading the Catechism 2241 that you said the opposite?
No, it didn't. Keep reading. Why would you stop about where it tells the immigrants what they're
protection? You are to give them protection and the security that they cannot find in their country.
Yeah, keep reading.
Okay, don't tell me what to do, you fucking fetus. Political authorities, for the sake of the common good for which they are responsible, may make the exercise of the right to immigrate subject to various juridical? It's not spelled right if it is. Conditions, especially with regard to the immigrant's duties toward the country of adoption. Immigrants are obliged to respect with gratitude the material and spiritual heritage of the company that receives them, to obey its laws, and to assist in carrying civic burdens.
So I quoted it word for word.
No, you left out the part that says that you are to welcome the foreigner in the search of the security and the means of livelihood which he cannot find in his country of origin.
And then what does it say that immigrants are obligated to do? To obey the civic law.
Correct, but you have to welcome them here first. That's not mass deportation, you fucking liar.
Yes, it is.
You're an idiot. I told you I'd dog walk you on the religion part, and you already dogged on the first one. You're dumb. That's not what it says. It does not say they support mass deportation. You're a liar.
Yes,
you are a liar.
I'm not lying.
Where does that say? Where does that say? We support mass deportation.
Yeah, it says that immigrants.
No, that's not the question. No. You have to. No. You have to respond to my question, not what you want to say. Where does it say in that 2241 of the Catholic Catechism of the Czech Catholic Church that they are for mass migration or mass deportation, excuse me? Yes. No, I want.
Obviously, word for word.
Correct. It doesn't say no. You said that it said that no. Your claim was that 2241 supported and the Catholic Church supported mass deportation. You are a fucking fool.
No, that paragraph.
No.
Yes, it does.
No. Tell me how you infer mass deportation out of more prosperous nations are obliged to welcome the foreigner in search of the security and the means of livelihood which they cannot find in his country of origin. How does that say the Catholic Church is for mass deportation?
Yeah, I just explained it to you. It says that immigrants are obligated to follow the civic law and respect the material traditions of the countries they lived in.
Yes.
If they don't do that, the church says the state is obligated.
No, it doesn't. No, doesn't say that. Doesn't say that. That's your word. No, it doesn't say that. That's your words. You added words that were not in there. You added words that were not in there.
What did I add? I'm sorry, not obligated, has the right to.
No, that's not what you said either.
It has the right.
It does not say that they are obligated or obliged to return them en masse to their countries. It does not say that.
Word for word. Are you that like low IQ?
No, you told me when we started this conversation that that's what it said, and that is not what it says.
No, I never said it said word for word.
Yes, you did.
No, I did. So, okay, we can just rewind the clip. All the lives are recorded.
Yes, they are.
It said word for word it supports mass deportations.
It doesn't say anything about mass deportations in that whole thing. Dude, your frontal lobe hasn't even fully developed yet. It doesn't develop till after you're 25. So I'm telling you, you're wrong. And you're twisting your little brain around because I just dog walked you again.
You look like horrible in this dialogue.
Oh, I know. Oh, just ad homs because you know you lost and you know I'm right. So just keep on. It's science, dude. I'm not belittling you. Go look it up. Go look. Google, when does someone's frontal lobe fully form? Go look. I'll wait. That wasn't an attack. It's called science. Something that you guys don't believe in. It wasn't a dig. It was a fact. Damn it, I can't get the circle. Struggling with the damn circle. I've been struggling all day with technology. I guess this is nothing new. Oh, he ran. Sure did. Oh, boo-boo bear. You guys know I didn't kick him because I was up here messing with my picture trying to get my circle. Oh, another win for me. Boop, boop. We got us a runner. I don't give myself kudos every once in a while, but oh, that was so easy. Oh, he was being so pseudo intellectual in his other conversations, like oh, MAGA. You cannot be a Trump supporter and be a Christian. It's diametrically opposed. You can't. It's impossible. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request and come on up. Or I'll debate Christians today if I need to. That's cool. I mean, I have a whole bunch of people that are wanting to come up. He got dog walk again. It's like taking candy from a fetus. I've never. Okay, that's not even a fetus. That's a zygote. All right. I have never in my entire life ever read the Catholic Catechism. I literally beat him with his own book that I've never read. I beat him with his own book I've never read. Robert, where are you? He did want it to be true so bad, didn't he? Robert, if you voted for Trump or you're a Christian and you want to come back up, you might want to re-request. I know it shows on my backup that he's connected, but it's not. I quoted scripture. He goes, well, I wasn't talking about the Bible. I was talking about the catechism. So I went to the catechism and still beat him with his own book. That I've never read. You're just making shit up. Straight up making shit up. Kyle, did you vote for Trump?
No, I did not. I voted for Ms. Harris, but I did have something I did want to give to you here.
What? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. I just have a format that I follow every single day, and I only bring Trump voters up from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Then from 6 to 7 Eastern, I will bring anybody up. So please, Todd, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I hope you're not upset, but come back at 6 or stay till 6, and I'll be happy to have you come up. It's just if I let every single friendly come up to say something, then it becomes an echo chamber. So I really appreciate it. I hope you understand. I always feel so bad. If you voted for Donald Trump, if you voted for Trump, hit the guest request. But you cannot be a Christian and vote for Donald Trump. It's just, you can't. You cannot. But we don't have to talk about that. That was just left over from another live. So, DeCarla, why don't you come on up? DeCarla, come on up. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. There's 743 people in here. I know there are Trump voters in here. Everybody, just keep tapping that screen for me. I really appreciate it. You guys rock. Thank you so much. That was left over from another live who challenged me on a Christian debate, and I beat him with his own book that I've never read. So, if you guys have been entertained and or educated today, I do have my Cash App and Venmo. It's Diavatalks. I put it on the banner here for you. Help you with the spelling. But it's spelled the same on Cash App or Venmo. If you'd like to help support my live, I am here every single day, 7 days a week from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Hold Trump voters accountable for what they voted for. I am on YouTube now. I fixed it while the song was playing. I was able to get on finally. So thank you guys. Thank you for your help, and thank you for hanging with me. If you voted for Donald Trump, you're going to hit that guest request and come on up. I went live with you before and you wouldn't even let me talk. I'm not wasting my time. And yet here you are, Edward. I'll let you talk if you're not spewing nonsense and spewing misinformation and all of those other things. I'm here for conversations, but I'm not going to allow you to railroad me because you're a dude and you think you can talk over me. Or if you're just going to spew misinformation, then I have to mute you. Sorry. If you come up with some factual information, that'd be awesome. We deal in facts and sources here. So if you don't have facts or sources, it's not going to bode well for you. I don't dabble in conspiracy theories and I don't do trust me bros. There is a flash goal from TikTok for 40 different people. We need to hit the heart me up there. It only costs you 1 coin. If you wouldn't mind, or if you're able to help knock out this goal, I'd appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Oh my, that was quick. Thank you. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request and come on out. If you see Trump supporters commenting in the comment section and they do not request to come up, you are free to mute them. We are here for conversation. We're not here for you to be keyboard abusers in the comment section. If you don't have big enough britches to come up here and talk to me, then silence. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on out. Maybe I should change the background. Maybe they like funny graphics because they don't like to weed. Let me see if I can make it so it looks. Oh, this one should do it. They like this one. This one gets their panties in a bunch. For you Trumpers that are in here, we have orders to arrest the agitators of the California riots. Anthony, thank you for the $5 Venmo for a $5 challenge for walking that joke down the aisle of his imaginary Catholic church. Okay, Anthony is doing a $5 challenge for that epic dog walking of that Catholic down the aisle of his imaginary Catholic church. So he's challenging everybody watching right now to send $5 if you're able or want to either my Cash App or Venmo, Diavatalks, for that glorious dog walking. Thank you, Anthony. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. Let's chat. Where are all the Trump supporters? Are they hiding? Thank you, Becky. Thank you guys for all the stars and stuff. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request and come on up. I know he was lying. And I actually have never read the Catholic Catechism in my entire life, and I beat him with his own book. The Sound of Reason. Did you vote for Trump?
Absolutely.
All right. How old are you and what state did you vote in?
3 times.
Great. How old are you and what state did you vote in?
Virginia.
Okay. Did you want to respond to the background or what do you want to talk about?
We have orders to arrest the agitators of the California riots. Okay, well, I didn't see Trump, burning and looting and throwing bricks at police officers. So I think your picture's fictitious.
I said the agitators. The people who agitated this situation were the people that Trump sent in.
There's no excuse for breaking the law.
Oh, excuse. So you don't like people who break the law?
Yeah, well, you can't break the law and destroy people's property on somebody else.
Okay. Did you have the same energy for January 6th when they broke into the Capitol? Do you have the same energy? Oh no. Do you have the same energy for the people that broke into the Capitol on January 6th, beat police officers with flagpoles, with Trump signs, and smeared their shit all over our Capitol?
When the police opened the door for them and unlocked
that's called crowd control once they got overtaken. So that's called crowd management. How did they get in the windows? Why did they break the windows then?
That was a guy that tore the Capitol.
Oh, you're a fool. You're just a fool.
Those people went to jail for years.
And they all got pardoned.
Yeah, what about...
Dude, why did they break windows?
How many Democrats...
Why did they... Are you going to engage in the conversation or are you just going to continue in your delusion? Can you please... Hello?
First off, let's go back to where this conversation began. That's with LA. Okay, this conversation began in LA. Okay.
Have some self-control, dude.
Now, let's talk about LA, sir. Who broke the law in LA, sir? What is with LA? Who broke the law in Los Angeles? What does J6 have to do with LA? I told you, we're going back to where this conversation began, which was LA. Who broke the law in LA? The people throwing bricks at police officers? No, sir. That would actually be ICE.
ICE did it.
Actually be ICE. Sir, when a federal agency goes into a parking lot of a business and conducts a raid, no, sir, quit talking over me. Well, we can have a legitimate conversation or you can go. Take your pick right now. See you later, Snowflake. Goodbye. And this is what you get with these type of people.
Oh my God. I'm like, just...
wanted to spin through talking points without answering the original question.
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, dude, are you going to engage a conversation? Because every time I'd ask him a question, he would just say something not anything related to what I just said.
And that's the question I want you to ask, guys. Who broke the law to start what happened in LA?
ICE did.
Come up here, answer that question.
I truly can't understand why they think LA is worse than January 6th either. I can't. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request and come up.
These are people that don't have history, right? These are people that didn't look. You want to see what a riot looks like, people? Look up
Rodney King. Woo! Rodney King.
We can have a discussion about that. It was a riot.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is not. But if you're going to talk about who broke the law here, we'll have that discussion. We'll talk how it began, and we'll determine who broke the law, because that's actually easy.
Right. Rodney King was a riot. This was a protest. You have to separate the rioters and the looters. The people that did the damage and stuff like that weren't the majority of the protesters. You got to separate anyone who rioted or looted from the protesters. They agitated. They made the situation worse. Protesters start fires? No. Who started the first fire?
Who started 2 of the 3 fires?
Come on up, John. Why don't you come up and have a conversation? Don't ask questions from the cheap seats. Just come up and talk.
Before we get to the fires, we're going to talk about how this began.
I'm not going to say, I don't do conspiracy theories. I have a theory, but I think that some of those agitators were possibly sent, but I have no proof of that. So, are the looters Democrat? Who knows? They all got arrested, so we don't know. They said they've had over 220 arrests. They said they're looking at cameras to get more. So whoever they end up being, and even if they were Democrats, they still belong in jail. If you do destruction, set fires, loot, you should go to jail. You're not going to get an argument out of Val or I about whether they should go to jail or not.
No, and you got to remember, this is also the city that when they caught some looters, protesters caught some looters, they stood in front of the building
To protect it.
Signs to protect the building from the looters and told them they needed to go.
Lisa, thank you for the $5 for the $5 dog walk challenge. Am I frozen to you?
No, I see you.
Okay, someone said it was frozen. I'm like, I'm not frozen on my side. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. There's 810 people in here. I know there's Trump voters in here, so just come up and let's chat. Lion and Bull, request up. Mandolin, thank you for subscribing. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up.
Everybody, you're not frozen. I see you moving.
All right. I'm glad you saw me moving. Yes, I do know about him. The Craigslist ad asking for people to come for the parade to fill the seats. Tara, thank you for the $5. Oh, wait a minute, my Venmo didn't come. Okay, hold on. I got Venmos here. Hold on. I saw it come by email. I have had more trouble with technology today than I've ever had my whole life, I think. Just everything's been so completely bad. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. John Mills is still chirping. If John Mills keeps commenting in the comment section, you can mute him. We've invited him up, and he has not come up, so he does not have free speech in my live. Thank you. Tara, thank you for the $5 for the glorious dog walking you give every one of these simple-minded MAGA every day. Thank you, Tara. Catherine, thank you for the $5. Loved your energy on RIR's live. Glad to participate in this challenge. Thank you, Catherine. I really appreciate it. I need to go to bed. I need to go nap. Jesus Christ. I can't read. Today, I've been having a day, that's all. Just a day. Technology, has screwed me in every possible way today. I'm just so frustrated with today in general.
It's been a phone and computer fight.
Yes. I'm tired. Anyway, if you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. Let's chitty chat. There's 800 people in here. I know there's Trump voters in here. So you guys got to be in here. Come up and let's chat. If not, I guess we can talk about Alex Padilla. Senator Padilla went. Yeah, Senator Padilla went to Kristi Noem's press conference. He was down the hall in a different meeting, and he heard that there was she was doing a press conference right down the hall in California. So he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go down there and ask her some questions." So he went down there. And he said, it's on film, he said, "I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have a question." And as they're dragging him out of the room, pushed him out of the room, threw him down in the hallway, handcuffed him. This is a sitting senator. Texas man, thank you for the train.
This ain't just a sitting senator. It's he's a senior.
He's a senior senator, and he's from California. And he was asking a question, and they put out a statement that was false on Twitter, of course, and said, "Oh, they didn't know who he was. He didn't identify himself," which is bullshit. So it's on film where he says, "I am Senator Alex Padilla." Da, 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 da. So they arrested. Well, they're now saying they didn't arrest him; they just detained him, and he was pushed out of the room and then thrown to the ground in the hallway and handcuffed. So if this is what we're doing to our senators, y'all, we're in a full-on dictatorship at this point. If this is how it's going to go, you can't do that.
Would you let anybody come up to?
Shut the fuck up. Nobody talked to you yet.
But if they don't have
excuse me, you've not been acknowledged. I don't even know who you are. I don't know how old you are. I don't know anything about you. So why don't we start at the beginning? Have some decorum. How old are you and what state did you vote in?
I'm 19.
Of course, they're always fucking barely adults. I think they know everything. He's a senator. They have oversight and they can ask questions of the secretary.
Yes, but if the security doesn't know that the person's coming, and then they show
It's a public meeting.
Sir, he is a sitting senator, representative of the people of California. Okay, so hold on, sir. I'm going to finish. He has every right to go up to anybody in a press conference that is talking on behalf of the government, which she is doing, and ask them a question. That is his right. Not only is it his right, it's his actual duty.
It's his job.
Okay? So that's, you know what I'm saying? That's what he's done. And she damn sure knows who he is. Okay? And he also introduced himself before he walked up and asked the question. See, the problem with most MAGAs, like most of the people in this administration, is they don't understand there's cameras everywhere. Okay? So we're going to see what actually happened, especially in this type of situation. Please stop with the excuses. What you witnessed today is fascism 101.
Correct.
It doesn't get any more clear.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
So, Secretary Noem.
Hey, hold on, sir. To the point, so you
the guy that's
this
fascism.
actually got a response from Canada, Mexico, and the UK.
So, I fail to see how his status is really relevant. The guy didn't identify himself.
He did. He said, "I'm Senator Padilla."
He is the representative.
Anybody can say they are.
The people who use
Security needs to be told ahead of time.
It was a press conference. It was a press conference. It's public. There was other people in there.
And then he walked up to their face in a press conference.
He didn't walk up to their face.
I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yes, it's pretty clear.
Way outside of where the press was sitting, which means clearly
You're a liar. You're a liar.
We saw the whole thing, sir, on film. He did not walk and get in her face.
Do you think
He was nowhere near her.
case if he's not in the assigned area.
No, sir.
There is no assigned area.
It's a press conference with a cabinet member.
Where are you from?
No, there's not. Sir, he outranks the cabinet member. Do you not understand that?
That's not relevant. If he doesn't identify
No, it is
himself,
relevant
he
because
already doesn't know.
Wait, hold on. You said you're in Virginia? Hold on. Okay, go ahead, Val. I don't think he's from here.
Yeah, but sir, I want you to understand something real quick. That cabinet member was chosen to be put there, not by the people.
Not elected.
That senator was voted on by the people. He has every right to be there. Now, sir, can you tell me what Articles 1, 2, and 3 are in the Constitution?
How would you like them? Would you like their total contents?
Okay, where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from Tampa.
No, you're not from fucking Tampa.
Okay, well, if you don't like people with an accent, you can just say that.
Where are you from is what I asked.
What's right?
What's the weather like on the West Coast?
In general or today?
There you go.
What do you mean? It's like
Florida's not on the West Coast. It's on the East Coast. Didn't he say he was from Florida earlier? He said Virginia when I asked him a minute ago, right?
Oh, he did say that when you first came in. He did say Virginia. But that's also the East Coast.
No, this isn't fascism. Look at the things that Adolf did. Had parades for himself, made people cheer for him, took kids from their mothers, rounded up humans, spread lies and propaganda, only wanted to hear news that flattered him. Yeah, Trump is nothing like that. No, nothing like that. Why don't you guys see? Even Stevie Wonder could see this. What the fuck? The eyeglass?
Good afternoon, guys.
Yeah, did you vote for Trump?
The last two election cycles, yes, Hillary Clinton in 2016.
How old are you and what state did you vote in?
52, New York.
What did you want to add?
So let me ask you a question. Why didn't the last caller, I didn't agree with this point. I didn't think he made a good point, but why didn't you, I noticed that you asked him, where are you from? You don't sound like you're from here. And I think
If you're at the complaint department's closed, Boo. Do you have something that you want to say that's valuable? I don't need you to tone police me. I don't need you to critique my live. I could tell he wasn't from here, and I'm talking to people that actually voted. We have people that come up here from other countries, always pretending to be U.S. citizens so they can have their point heard. And so I weed them out quickly. And I don't need you to come up here and police how I do my live. Thank you. So if you have a point about what we're talking about, that would be great. I'll invite you to unmute.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to moderate your show, of course.
Great. Then what point do you want to make other than the last guest?
Well, I think the point that I want to make is the ideological difference that Democrats and Republicans seem to have is that, Republicans or Trump supporters in this case, they believe that American culture is valuable.
What is American culture?
Well, American culture is being able to walk with a same-sex couple, being able to walk down the street without being harassed. Women's rights. Women can have bank accounts here.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. One moment. Did you say that Republicans believed in that?
Absolutely.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Number one, that's not culture. Number two, it's the Republicans that are trying to take away LGBTQ rights. It's 500 plus bills written about LGBTQ people. That's not true. Okay. Women, the reason why women have any rights in this country is because of fucking Democrats, not Republicans. What other alternative universe do you live in?
And have you read Project 2025?
Christ on a fucking cracker, dude.
My friend just got back from Dubai. and the stuff that he's telling me there is nothing like here. I mean, you think that all the rights that we have are prevalent everywhere in the world? That's not true.
No, but it's not Republicans that do those laws. It's Democrats. It's progressive people that are trying to make everything equal for everyone. Equity, equality. That's us, not Republicans.
Well, I think the ideological issue here is that Republicans and Trump supporters, they want to see immigration have more right.
No, they want fascism. They want fascism because that's what you got. That's what we have right now.
That's not true.
That's what we have right now, and you guys voted for it.
You said that Republicans want more regulation.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but you said they want more You said Republicans want more regulation in border security, right?
Well, the under Trump, 1.2 million immigrants are taken out. Under Biden, the official number is 12 million, but many say it's 20.
There is no, but that's a lie.
That's not true.
Is that really a lie?
Yes.
Yes.
The actual number of immigrants that came into this country that were granted asylum claims is 2.8 million over 4 years. That comes from the DHS, sir. You know who the DHS is?
Oh, no. Yeah, Department of Homeland Security. So do Democrats believe in borders? Do you guys believe in borders?
Yes.
Yes, we believe in borders, but sir, we also believe in the law. See, here's the thing. When Republicans, one, have no argument to even make on border security, and this is why. Sir,
So how did you feel about?
Sir, hold on.
Let him finish, please.
Was the last border bill passed in this country?
I got a job. I can't remember every border bill, but I do know.
Everybody has jobs, dude. You're not special.
Yeah, I have a job. Sir.
So explain this to me.
No, can you answer his question, please?
We're not spinning out. You're going down my line with me now.
I don't know.
Sir, the last border bill in this country that was passed was 1984. It's referred to as Title 8 by Ronald Reagan. Okay, that's the last border bill passed in this country.
It's called Title 8, and every president since Reagan has been under Title 8. No one has changed it. Not Democrats, not Republicans. Every single president since Reagan, including Donald Trump right now, we are still under Title 8. So Joe Biden didn't open the border. Nobody opened anything. The border policy has never changed. So I don't know what you're talking about. And you say, oh, I work for a living, so I don't know all these things. Everyone has a job. That's why I don't understand that line of questioning. When you ask them a question like, well, I work. Everyone fucking works. You can't afford to not work. But it's your job to be an informed citizen.
So how did the immigration go from 1.2 million under 4 years of Trump to 12 to 20
That's
million?
untrue.
It didn't.
Also untrue.
It didn't.
So where are the numbers?
If you're talking about during C-19, of course, because there was Title 42 because of the pandemic, they couldn't they build up on the other side of the border. And so, yes, there was more coming through after the pandemic was declared over. If you're just talking about during the pandemic time, yes, there was less people coming here because our border was closed under 20, or not closed, but
shut down under except for very special circumstances.
Correct.
Because of Title 42.
Correct.
Title 42 can only be implemented in a public health crisis.
So you're arguing that the public health crisis forced millions of people to come to this country?
No, well, that's what ended up happening because even though we have Title 42, no other country does, right? So what was happening
up and building up and building up at the border. And this started actually in 2019, sir.
Yes.
Do you not remember Trump standing up there going, there's just tons of
invasion
migrants coming to the border. There's tons of migrants coming to the border. Do you not remember that speech?
Well, I remember about 300,000 people a year were coming to the border under Trump. 1 year was like 500,000 to 600,000.
That's not true.
It's never been that low.
Never.
Those are the numbers that I saw.
No, well, you're
It's
wrong.
never been that low, sir. Ever.
Right. Look, I feel bad for people, that are going to be sent back. Just like I felt bad when Obama had the.
No, sir. Here's the problem.
They're not being sent back.
Because you don't even know the subject. See, here's the problem. When people like you come up and you want to talk about this subject, what I suggest is you actually educate yourself on it. Because you're so far off on numbers, you're so far off on what the laws are, you don't even know when the laws were created. And I bet big money you don't even know what the Langford bill is.
Well, I can't look at Grok and look up every bill that.
And that's all I needed to know. So you may want to move on to a subject you know more about.
Yeah, you don't know enough about immigration. You don't know enough about the border to have an intelligent conversation, because the Langford bill would have solved 80 to 90% of the problems at the border that Donald Trump told the Republicans not to pass because it was an election year, and he was not going to give Joe Biden a win during an election year. He even said on the campaign trail, "You can blame me." He didn't want to fix the border. He wanted to campaign on the border to scare people into voting for him because he had nothing else to go on. He wasn't offering them tax breaks. He wasn't offering them anything. He campaigned that he was going to give billionaires and millionaires a tax break. He had nothing to campaign on that he was going to do for you. Okay? So he had to scare you guys with brown people.
I think that, a lot of people vote for Trump. Democrats are so nasty. They call people names. You're stupid. You're a racist.
You are. If
Nobody here has actually called you idiot. I just said you weren't educated enough on that subject.
Oh, we're never educated enough. I mean,
no.
I think the Democrats have a major public relations problem. I mean,
we don't. We don't. We don't have a public
relations problem. We don't have a public relations problem. We really don't, sir. Right now, sir, it is.
Dude, stop talking over Val. Your phone speaker's ass. So you sound horrible to begin with, but at least let him finish, because nobody can hear either one of you. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, sir. Our problem is not with communication. It's your problem. Your problem right now is that y'all are pissed off on what's happening. Okay, right now we have several constitutional rights and amendments being broken by the current administration. Okay, these are things that we should be talking about. We have, sir, did you know that 279,000 people filed for unemployment last week? Did you know that?
Of course not.
Yeah, but did you know that during the Biden administration?
No, leave Biden out your mouth. No.
That's not what I'm talking about, sir. And Biden never had those kind of numbers.
We're talking about now. What this fucking Mango Mussolini's doing to this country, violating the Constitution, kidnapping people off the streets and sending them to concentration camps in other countries and to detention camps. We're talking about what's happening right now. We're not going back to Biden. We're not going back to Obama. We're talking about now. His violations of the Constitution now.
Well, we got here because the price of houses, cars, gas.
Sir, see right there, you went to prices and houses.
He went to prices.
That's why we got here.
Because I know the next words out of your mouth. The next words out of your mouth is Biden did it. No, sir.
Nope.
When you talk about housing, that is 110% the fault of the first Trump administration.
He overturned Dodd-Frank. Let me speak. He overturned Dodd-Frank, which barred investment firms and large corporations from buying up houses on day one, because they used to have to wait. There was a waiting period to allow regular people to be able to buy these single-family homes. When he reversed Dodd-Frank, that allowed corporations and investment firms to be able to buy houses up day one. So they would come in with cash. I can't compete with cash. I have to get a mortgage. I have to get a loan. It takes time. They can come in cash in hand, underbid you, or even give them the asking price, but they get cash in their hand. And so it drove up home prices and it drove up rent in those areas, because then they would flip the houses, charge more for rent, and then all the other people in the area would charge more rent. So it was specifically his overturning of Dodd-Frank that caused the housing issue and the unaffordability.
And then you couldn't build new homes.
Actually, I was in banking.
Hold on, sir, I'm not done. Then you couldn't build new homes because he put a massive tariff on Canadian lumber
And steel.
which raised our lumber prices to the point that builders couldn't afford to build.
I
It
was
was the lowest from 19.
I don't care if you're in banking. What has nothing to do with what we're talking about?
Right. From
I was in banking prior to my current career, and I can tell you the Dodd-Frank bill was a total disaster that nobody really.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, okay. That's great. That's a lie, but whatever.
Yeah, Dodd-Frank, you don't even understand that.
That's so stupid.
Sir, the thing is, sir, is
Why do you guys?
his administration.
Why do you guys always insult people?
It was his administration. I said you didn't understand something and you don't. That's not an insult. It's a
Well,
fact.
you know your friend, your.
That's not an insult, sir. It is a fact.
Well, I feel insulted and offended.
I'm sorry you're emotional.
Your host just said that I wasn't in banking. Like, I mean,
I didn't say you weren't in banking. I said it doesn't matter to this conversation.
How are you guys going to win votes if you keep on insulting?
I don't care.
Every special election since this man has taken office has been won by a Democrat.
And by the way, my family are Holocaust survivors.
Great.
The fact that you have that offensive picture there.
That's going to end you.
And the fact that you would stand up when he's doing exactly what this guy did is insulting. Shameful. Look at all the stuff that guy did. Look who's doing it now. And you're saying you're insulted. The fuck out of here. So full of shit. Their goalposts don't have their goalposts don't have wheels, they have turbojets.
There is actually another constitutionalist in the chat or in the box.
I know, I'm gonna bring him up after I get another Trump supporter. If there's 3, they might not come up. So
Hang with us, Nutty.
just hang tight 1 second, Nutty. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. They are professional victims. And well, I just feel insulted. I feel insulted by your vote. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. There's almost 1,000 people in here. Get up here. Blah, 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 says the one who's not requesting to come up. Real profile and courage there, WNC.
How are you, beautiful people?
Hi, Nutty. How are you?
Not including that.
Oh, real quick, Electric Gal Shar, thank you for the $5 for the Stevie Wonder comment. Gen X will get it. Thank you, Electric Gal.
So, no, I just wanted to tell people to tap the screen. Let's get up to 300,000, please, quick and in a hurry. Please hit it. Wait, I don't see it. Okay, hit her gifting goal up there. Please gift the panel. That dog down there below me, you know, he's okay sometimes, you know. But no, I just wanted to say that. But also, did you see the video of the arrest of Senator Padilla?
Yes. That's just fascism 101.
I just want people to be afraid, because when we're going after sitting senators for doing their job, we have hit a place in our history that if we don't do something about it now, I'm afraid we can't walk back from it.
Something needs to be done now. Yeah. Willy Wonka, oh, you always run. You come to my live every day, and you finally came up on the panel, and then as soon as you saw you were on the panel, you hauled ass.
Well, that's constitutionalist in here right now.
Well, I was going to say I'm gonna get back in the comments, and then I'm listening, and then I'll just request.
Request up whenever you. Yep.
I'll get back in the comments. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, Nutty. Congress better do something. Congress better fucking do something other than a strongly worded letter.
Thank you, Electric Cow, for the cash app.
If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. Let's have a chitty chat. Let's go. Let's go. Come on up. I mean, this is crazy shit.
Oh, they're nuts. I mean, this, like I said, when I saw that video of the senator today, I was like, and so everybody understands. Sorry. But so everybody understands, I wouldn't have cared if that was a Democratic senator.
I agree. Yep.
I wouldn't have cared either way. Okay? Because what we saw today is not happening, because even Republican senators were voted in by their constituents to represent the people. That is representation of the people. That is how our government works. And representation of the people, asking a question and posing a question to power, got arrested today.
He's part of the co-equal branch. He's the co-equal branch of that government tree.
And actually, you know what I'm saying?
He actually is above her, really, yeah.
Yeah, he's above her because she has not been voted in by the people.
Correct.
He has.
Arresting your political opponents?
Yeah. It wouldn't matter to me, Republican or Democrat. That
Is
we saw today cannot happen.
Okay. For those that are just getting here, Senator Padilla, who represents California, was in the federal building on other business. He heard that Kristi Noem was going to be having a press conference like literally just down the hall. So he went down there to ask her a question because Congress has been asking questions and getting no answers. So he said he wanted to go down there to ask her questions. It's a press conference. They take questions. So he went down there and he said, "I'm Senator Padilla." And the moment he started to speak, they shoved him and pushed him out the doors, put him on the ground in the hallway, and handcuffed him. They said he wasn't arrested and that he wasn't detained, but he had handcuffs on. So I say he was detained. I know they're trying to save face. They're lying and saying he didn't identify himself, and he did. It's on camera. You can watch it for yourself. But Senator Padilla was asking a question of her, and they shoved him out of the room. Forcefully. And he did ID himself. They came up with some statement that they didn't know who he was and he was approaching her. It's bullshit. That's not true. That's just not true. They put handcuffs on him in the hall. He was on the ground, handcuffed on the ground. Maureen, did you vote for Trump?
No, I just wanted to tell you that Johnson actually went on television and said that they were going to censure that senator.
Oh, thank you for coming up, Maureen. They're going to censure Padilla?
That house
Oh,
can't
no.
do that. The house can't censor a senator.
Jesus fucking Christ. And there's no need to anyway. They were in the wrong.
Yeah, they can't do it. The house doesn't control the Senate.
They're so fucking stupid. Instead of, hey, we should impeach the guy because this is overreach, or get rid of Noam because she should have been like, oh, whoa, no, he can ask questions. She should have stopped them and said, no.
I'm going to censure a senator from the House floor.
My God. Anthony, thank you for the $5 for another $5 challenge. I need to give to you what I earned in hot Jacksonville last night. Anthony's issuing a $5 challenge. If you want to take part in the $5 challenge, he's challenging everyone to send $5 to my Cash App or Venmo. Diavatalks right there on the banner to help support my live. Thank you so much. I appreciate any support I get. And Val has his pay apps and his bio too.
Censure is actually a terminology of the House or the Senate for a single member that steps out of line. And basically it's a slap on the wrist and it takes away some of your privileges. But the thing, you know what I'm saying? The thing is censure is actually a process.
Correct.
Okay, and that's, you know, and it does take away your rights to speak on the floor. But the other thing is the House has their own rules.
And so does the Senate.
Michael Johnson, and so does the Senate. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That statement is ridiculous.
If you voted for Donald Trump, we're looking to talk to you, so hit the guest request and come on up. I only am looking for Trump voters until 6 p.m. Eastern, and then at 6 p.m. Eastern, I let friendlies and anybody else up. So if you voted for Donald Trump, there is a seat open for you on the panel, and only for you Trump voters. So go ahead and hit the guest request and come up. Sandwich for you, that's exactly what my daughter Ava said. When she saw the video, she's like, man, they manhandled that man. I mean, they were just shoving and pushing him out. I mean, it was forceful. This is crazy.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet Congress people were going right into his office. Like I said, this wouldn't have mattered to me, Republican or Democrat. This cannot happen. This cannot be done.
It's because that's what fascists do. They arrest their political opponents. They quiet their political opponents. That's what fascists do. They don't want any negative, all good things. They don't want anyone asking questions. They don't want to answer any questions. They don't want to do anything. This is a big turning point. I really do think that this is a very huge turning point. We have crossed the Rubicon too many times. This is a step too far. It doesn't help that he's also a brown person.
Well, somebody asked, can he sue? That's, you know what I'm saying? I don't know that I've ever really seen a lawsuit for anything like this, to be honest with you. What will happen is this could go to the Senate Ethics Committee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because ethics were broken. And that could be trouble for people in the administration. This is not going to go away quietly. Senators, you know what I'm saying? I can tell you right now, senators are going to be pissed off, and they're going to be pissed off on both sides. You're not going to see it right away, but as this gets out more and the story gets out more and more camera angles come out, and they know they can't escape it, there's going to be a backlash on this for sure.
No, this is nothing like this has ever happened. No. No.
No, I've never seen that.
No.
I'm 59 years old, and I've never seen. I mean, I've seen senators starting to fight each other. I've seen that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen stuff like that on the House floor. I've seen those kind of things, but I have never seen a senator or a House member go in to ask a question to somebody in a deal, actually identify themselves, you know what I'm saying, and then get tackled by security, whoever the security was, get tackled by security, manhandled, rushed out of a room, put to a floor, and handcuffed. Never.
MSNBC said that the people who actually handcuffed him outside of the hearing room were Secret Service, but I do not know.
Well, there's other phone angles that have
yeah. Someone said FBI was the one pushing him out of the room. Someone else said that it was Secret Service that did the handcuffing. So I guess we'll have to wait to see how it all plays out. But I know that people pushing him out of the room had FBI on their chest. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. She knew who he was.
It doesn't matter. He said who he was. If she doesn't know who one of 100 senators are in this country, especially one from the state she's going to,
she's in his state, amongst his constituents.
If she doesn't know who that is, that's another red flag. People and don't care. It's not an excuse.
Sandra, thank you for the $10 Venmo. Keep dog walking the ignorant, misogynistic assholes. Thank you. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. We're looking for a Trump voter to join the panel. I only have a seat left open for a Trump voter. Who's chumping ice? That would be me. I'm a chronic ice chewer. That's me. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up.
No, there's nobody. Look, I mean, there is nobody in that cabinet that belongs in a position that they're in. Not a single person.
Nope.
I mean, the smartest person in that cabinet is the head of HUD. You never hear from him. Okay. I mean, is anybody heard from him?
No.
No, not a single word. Oh, I don't know, maybe because it's a black man. That might
Yeah.
have something to do with it.
Probably the only one.
He's the smartest person in that cabinet, and he's a brain surgeon, but yet they've made him the head of HUD.
Dangerfield, did you vote for Trump?
No, I apologize. I just wanted to ask one question.
Quickly, I only bring. Go
Trump
ahead.
seems to be looking for martial law. Can I ask you something? If he does declare martial law, can the midterms go through?
No.
Okay. I'll talk about that. You go ahead. I'll talk about it. Here's the thing. I've got to trust that the processes in this country work. I've got to trust that the court system is going to do what they're supposed to do. Although slower than Congress, they are going to do what they're supposed to do. I've got to trust that the Constitution is going to do its job. If this man declares martial law without any actual reason, it'll go through the courts and that'll get shut down by the courts one way. But at that point, the problem becomes when he declares martial law in these larger cities or these cities that he's going to want to try to bring military in, he's going to disrupt the economy even more than he already has. And that's when the senators and these House members there's going to be a big realization, because then they're going to start paying attention to their voters that are telling them if they don't do something about getting their businesses back up and running, getting things back up and running in this country, they're going to lose their seats, which is exactly what happened in 2020.
Well, he's already somewhat. I have it on my backup. Where is it? He's already turning on it now because of California. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
This was his truth today. Or not truth, but his tweet. Well, I can't call him truth because he never tells the truth about anything. But our great farmers and people in the hotel and leisure business have been stating that our very aggressive policy on immigration is taking very good, long-time workers away from them, with those jobs being almost impossible to replace. In many cases, the criminals allowed in our country by the very stupid Biden open borders policy are applying for those jobs. This is not good. We must protect our farmers, but get the criminals out of the USA. Changes are coming. So he's already tucking tail and changing on the immigration because these businesses are losing all their fucking workers.
Right. And this is the types of things that I'm talking about. They're going to start, and this is probably coming from pressure from senators, right? From senators and House members. And as he keeps making these policies to push forward, if he declares martial law or tries to go through the Insurrection Act, if he does that, you shut this country down. People need to remember that.
Yep.
Okay? And when that happens, people are going to start to get upset.
That's
Very upset.
Philly stupid Biden. He sounds like a fucking kindergartner.
That upset is going to lead to the congressman that's going to be like, oh, no, because they will do anything not to lose their power, including throwing him under the bus. Although it's not really throwing somebody under the bus. This man's done.
This right here tells you that his whole thing about, it'll open up jobs for everybody else. Why aren't all the white people flocking for these jobs? Why aren't all the Americans? Why are these people that can't be replaced? I thought it was American workers were gonna want all these jobs. It destroys his whole narrative.
And a lot of people say, I hope I'm right. I want you to remember something. The minute that we keep saying, and I've talked about this in other lives, the minute we keep saying, oh, it's going to happen, he's going to get it done, what makes you think he's not going to do it, is basically us saying we give up.
Yeah, we can't give up. Right? Where's all the kids that are playing video games and sucking off the system and sitting playing video games all day, getting Medicaid and all of that? Why aren't they applying for these jobs? Yeah, this is such bullshit. Utter bullshit. It destroys his entire narrative. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. There's 775 people in here. I know there's Trump voters sitting in here. Please hit their guest request and come up. And also, don't forget, I think they're voting today on that $9 billion rescission bill that's going to put a permanent end to everything Doge cut. If it passes the House, y'all need to be calling your senators and telling them not to pass it. We can't sleep on the big, beautiful bill. We can't sleep on the rescission package. We can't sleep on the fact that he's on the Epstein files. We can't sleep on the fact that Elon said he dabbled. So y'all, the House passed it. Okay, y'all need to be calling your senators and tell the senators, absolutely not. This rescission bill is devastating. So even if you've got to make a list, I don't care if they don't listen to you. Call them anyway. They are listening. They are listening. So if you got to write it down to keep a list of all that's happening, write it down. Call them anyway. I know it's a lot to remember. Things keep hitting the fan every day.
It's a lot. We get it.
I get it. I do. I'm overwhelmed by it. I'm really concerned about this detainment of this senator today. Like, I keep waiting. When do I need to leave?
Yeah, it's a thing, right?
I mean, I'm really nervous, and I mean, I've got kids. When do I just pack up and leave?
Right. I don't want people to feel like they need to put themselves in those positions. It's we understand, what I'm saying, there's people like me, I'm a little different position in life right that, but no, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight. And I'm going to fight with everything I have because I know what it means.
And if I didn't have small kids that have special needs, one of which is in the LGBTQ community and the other one who's autistic, who RFK Jr. says needs to be reparented, like, it's scary. If I didn't have small children, I would stay here and fight too. I'd be out there protesting. I'd be pounding the streets too.
And I get that, but then again, I would think that would be more reason to fight.
I know, but it's scary.
I know it's scary. It's scary for everyone. But and God love this. 3 weeks ago, this little red puppet that joined our lives. Oslo, man. But he said it best. The fight for civil rights is not a civil fight.
No, I know. I know.
Never has.
Bob Smith over on YouTube said, when did you start blocking friends? If you got blocked by accident, let me know your username on TikTok and I'll go and unblock you. Friendly fire happens sometimes. I don't block friends. It just sometimes happens. So if you give me your username on TikTok, I'll go in and unblock you. I don't ever block friendlies. It's always an accident.
And I actually saw that comment in here. So if you were able to make that comment in here, you weren't blocked.
I mean, this is my fight. Coming on here every day fighting for this is my contribution to fighting. That's all I can do right now.
No, that's the biggest question in the world on TikTok right now. Who's also, I don't know. I don't know. I have my guesses and my theories, but I don't know.
This is my form of protest. This is my trying to save democracy. This is my fight. I'm doing what I can with what I can. If that makes sense. America Democracy Forever, America Together Democracy was blocked. Somebody blocked America Democracy Together, America Together. You know what I'm talking about, the one who has donated.
Yeah, who did that?
Somebody blocked them. It was probably friendly fire. So they came in on another account and said, hey, can you unblock America Democracy Together? And I'm like, oh, crap. So I literally went in and unblocked them while I was in the middle of live.
Hey, guys, come on. Pay attention. That's a hard one, too.
Yeah, America Democracy Together, you guys have to know that was not who you were probably supposed to be blocking. So mods, just be careful who you're blocking. Because America Democracy Together has been an incredible support for this live, and that kind of hurt my heart they got. And I don't know who did it. I'm not mad at anybody. Just be a little careful. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. Accidents happen. Absolutely. 100%. But when you're going to block somebody, you see their username and their profile picture when you go to block them. And if it says America Democracy Together, they're probably not the right one. Probably not. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Sandy, thank you for that. You are doing tons by educating us. Thank you.
Yeah, it's cracking me up. Look, I believe if everybody's thinking that it's somebody that's actually already on TikTok, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. I'm just going to say that I don't think it's anybody that was already on TikTok. I believe it is an actor that is good at what they do, especially with puppets. And it wouldn't shock me if they had anything to do with PBS at the moment.
Right. Since PBS is on the chopping block. Also, I said he's new to TikTok as of 3 weeks. Okay. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. Let's chat. There's over 700 people in here. I know there's Trump voters in here. It's statistically impossible for it just to be Harris voters. So if you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. Come on up.
Whoever's controlling that puppet definitely knows what to do. They make that puppet very human. It's definitely somebody that knows what they're doing with a puppet.
Oh, yeah. That's not an amateur. Electric Alshar, thank you for the $10. Thank you for your fight. You educate us. Thank you, Electric Alshar. I appreciate that. Are there any Trump voters in here? I know there are. What's happening today to grab and hold down the fort? I mean, nothing's happening. Other than U.S. senators getting shoved out of a press conference and then handcuffed. Other than that, other than the fascist stuff that's happening in California, no, not much happening with the California. Other than fascism, we're not going to get like a blinking red light. You're not going to get like an Amber Alert type thing on your phone that says, fascism is here. It's here, folks.
Hold on a minute. I ain't going to put it past them.
Who?
The Trump administration or anybody. I would not put that kind of warning not warning, or alert past them.
Well, I'm here. I'm your alert. Fascism is here, y'all. Okay, time to fight.
Wait, this is so sad to say. I would not. Project 2025 complete.
That was a big alert.
Remember the broadcasting system? You know what I'm saying? You're old enough to remember. The TV actually went away, right? We had that.
It's static.
It's static. You know, but there was always a message before it went off. It wouldn't shock me to see something like that from this administration. It would not.
No. Trump is just an old criminal. Oh, yeah. Don the Con. He didn't get that name by accident. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Exactly.
If that tells you about our upbringing, okay? Our parents had to be reminded at 10 o'clock every night that they had children. Okay? It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? Our parents had to be reminded they had children and, oh, they're supposed to be home by now. If you guys haven't seen the Project 2025 tracker, 100% of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's objectives have been met 100%. USAID, 100% completed. White House objectives, 88% completed. Department of State objectives, 75% completed. An Agency for Global Media, 67% completed. Don't tell me. I had somebody tell me today, oh, come on, Project 2025 wasn't attached to the Trump administration. That's why most of it's done. Yeah, sure. Project 2025 tracker, Google that. It shows you everything that they've done and has correlated it back to Project 2025. Did you know that Starlink is now at the White House?
What?
Yep. I'll get the thing. Starlink, White House.
Nothing like slowing down. I mean, I can understand it for a backup, right? You know what I'm saying? Fiber optic goes down, internet goes down, whatever may happen, right? I can understand it for a satellite backup. But I'm pretty sure our military.
Said Trump. It says Jim Reuters 2 days ago. Trump to keep Starlink at the White House despite his breakup with Elon Musk.
Yeah, and this is ridiculous because I promise you guys.
It's installed on the White House roof.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't shock me any bit. But the thing is a backup to backups that are in the system. I get it for that purpose, but if you think for a second, if you're crazy enough to believe that Starlink is a better communication system than our military satellites, you have lost your mind.
It's not private, is it? I mean, can it be hacked by Russia? And
that's going to be a question too, right? So, but it's not going to perform or outperform our military satellites.
I mean, he already has our data anyway.
Yeah, we know our military satellites can pinpoint just about anything on the Earth to the size of a head of a pin. You think Starlink can do that?
No, but there could be information that other people shouldn't get. Somebody says,
that's true.
I mean,
that's true. But I can understand it for a backup, right? So.
You guys want to listen to the mayor, LA mayor, holding a briefing about the senator being handcuffed?
That sounds fun.
Understands if you support the immigrant community, you know how to do it in a peaceful manner. We are proud to say that we have a well-established, a well-respected immigrant rights organizations that have been holding protests for years and years that have never devolved into violence. And so to characterize what is going on in our city as a city of mayhem is just an outright lie. I'm not going to call it an untruth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to call it for what it is, which is a lie. And I just have to say, I served with the secretary. I served with the secretary for probably about 10 years in Congress. And Madam Secretary, I do not recognize you anymore. I do not know Christy Nome that I served with for 10 years. So no matter what happens out of the White House, we will always uphold and reflect what Los Angeles and the United States of America are truly about. Freedom, tolerance, and for God's sake, our Constitution.
All right. Yeah, well, she didn't mince words either. That's what I'm saying. Christy Nome was in Congress. She knows Padilla. they know each other. Like, they know who he is. If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request. Come on up. She is drunk on power. Val, I saw this lady on TikTok who did a video that she was at the Les Mis show last night at the Kennedy Center, and she panned her camera down and she says, "I can't believe I'm watching the same show with Trump," and she shows him down there. And then she shows the clip of where they start singing, "Do you hear the people sing?" And he's just like, oh, like he loves it. It's like, it's about you.
Right, that's what. Speaking of Oslo, he did a video. And Oslo, the video was so perfectly done because Oslo's sitting there and he's watching that thing, and when they're talking about the songs about you and stuff like that, and Oslo just sat there and listened to the whole thing, and just looked up and goes, "You don't get it. He's
so clueless. He's so dumb." It's about taking down the elites and like taking down the people that are suppressing the people, and I'm like,
I know. When I heard he was going to go watch Les Mis, which I see, and I'm like going, what?
I mean,
does he even know what it's about?
they sang it to him. Remember when he was inaugurated? They had that big dinner, and they came in and marched to singing that song, and the looks on some of the people in the room were like, because they know that song is about, and they had them singing it to Trump and all these people at this dinner at the White House. They're clueless what the song means.
Yeah, I can't. You can't make this shit up. You just can't.
It's from the French Revolution, right?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, there was drag queens at that show too. Walking through the lobby. He was probably seething. And he was booed last night too. Oh, SNL's going to be great, right?
I know it's nuts. So if a little red puppet shows up here in a second, please let me know.
Oh, I will let Oslo up. Absolutely. Yeah, JD Vance was there too. He went with Trump. They asked him after which character he preferred. You wouldn't answer. He probably doesn't know. He probably doesn't know any of the characters' names.
No, as you know. That may be the first musical in this man's life he ever sat through.
Trump said the show was terrible.
Oh, I bet.
Probably because he got booed. Oh, yeah, that's right. SNL's off till the fall. Shoot.
I saw that video where they were talking about, oh, he's going to think he's going to be mad because there's not going to be anybody with a fiddle on a roof.
I saw that one too. That was funny.
It's like going, that's hilarious.
No, the people are, yeah. Did any of the actors did not act in it and protest? I wonder.
No, because
that he was there.
So, I mean, you know, come on, if y'all know Broadway, the show must go on, right? So, you know, they're going to work under that. They're going to work under those terms. The show must go on, but they're going to give the show to the people because they're not. But there was probably in that center probably a few thousand people watching that. So they're not going to care about him.
Let me see. I heard that some of the main characters did, and their understudies had to perform. I'm just curious now. Did any of the play?
So because this is a Broadway play coming there. That's not a
actors boycott Trump last night. Oh my God! Shouts of felon were shouted at the Kennedy Center. It says Trump unfazed by Kennedy Center actors who boycotted. So I'm gonna guess. I said some of the cast members. I can't really see anything definitive, so I don't want to. I don't know. It's not that important. I just thought it was funny. Are there any Trump voters in here? If you voted for Donald Trump, hit the guest request coming up. Well, let's chitty chat. He probably took a nap. He can't stay awake. They used to call it, everything's projection out of him. When they called him Sleepy Don, it's because he kept falling asleep during his court hearings. He keeps falling asleep everywhere. He fell asleep at the funeral. The dude can't stay awake.
Well, it's not uncommon for a Broadway show to go play at the Kennedy Center.
No, that's true.
They play all over the country, actually. So
I did see the drag queens walking through. That was so funny. I'm like, he was probably seething if he saw them.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I called that yesterday. I said, what's he going to do with a drag queen show? Because I knew it was coming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and why people say, or I think Chris asked why Melania was still there or with him or whatever. She's contractually obligated.
That could be the case.
I fully believe it. So he'll rename it the Trump Center. I wouldn't doubt it. I literally, I believe by the time he's gone, Oslo's here. I just saw him join. Oslo, request up. Please, I'm not demanding you, but she was holding his thumb. She's like, oh, if I have to hold your hand, you can hold my thumb. Somebody zoomed in on his thumb. And she was just holding the end of his thumb like this. Everyone's screaming for Oslo.
See if I see him in there.
I saw that he entered because it tells me when they enter, but maybe he was scrolling by and he didn't actually stop. Is he in the house? Is he in the house?
Not hard to find.
There he is. There's Oslo. Hi, Oz.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Hi.
We had a lot of people in here that hadn't seen you before, and we wanted to introduce issue to a lot of people in here because they didn't know. So if anybody down there wants to follow Oslo, please do.
Yeah, I've only been on TikTok for like 3 weeks, so it's nice meeting everyone.
Hi, Oslo.
I was
Hi, Diava.
telling them about your video on Les Mis I saw yesterday, and how you did that where you just ended it with "You don't get it."
He doesn't get it. The article says it's his favorite musical. I'm like, he doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. There's no way he gets it.
No, he can't possibly. Especially the song, the "Do You Hear the People Sing" or whatever, or "Do You Hear the People Speak?" I can't remember the exact name, but
Singing the songs of angry men.
Right? It's because they're trying to get rid of the elites and the people that are oppressing the people.
It is the music of the people who will not be slaves again. How can you be this dense? That's like him saying, "Oh, I love Star Wars." How could you be so dense? You're the emperor.
Oh my god. He also doesn't know what the YMCA song is either.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, he has no idea. He's like, we gotta stop these people from marrying each other. And, oh, guys, by the way, YMCA. He does this little thing like this. The ignorance so thick, but it just doesn't seep in.
It's pretty.
Oh my god. Do you live in California?
Yeah, I live in Los Angeles.
Oh, it's not burning down to the ground.
No, look, it's totally fine. Everything's good. My human was at a protest on Sunday, and everyone was dancing with drums being played and smiling and happy, and there was people with face paint on. Like, it was normal. It was fine. You could just literally search up TikTok, and most of the videos are just people walking and chanting. People are literally having to chant peaceful protest.
I saw the videos of them. I saw them
It's like
videos.
they're letting the cops know, like, hey, please don't shoot us. I can't say that, but because that's what's happening right now. It's like if there's any violence, it's coming from. It's reminding me. I mean, I wasn't alive, but it's reminding me of the civil rights movement, where any violence was not started by the protesters.
No, that's
There's
true.
a few agitators at night lighting things on fire, but during the days, if there's violence, it's because there's rubber bullets flying. It's crazy.
So your human was there?
My human was there on Sunday, right after, and there was only a few hundred people, and I don't know why he called in the National Guard. But I know it's grown since then.
Oslo's only 6 years old.
Yeah, I was 6 and a half.
How old's your buddy?
How old's your
He's
human?
almost 40.
Oh.
He's almost 40. Oh no, I was talking about your orange buddy.
Oh, Lesko. I don't know. I don't know how old he is. He might be like barely speaking, I think. Yeah, he doesn't have very good vocabulary, but he's a MAGA voter, so.
Oh god.
Yeah, we posted a clip yesterday or I guess this morning of an argument we were having, but it's just kind of like the same argument we've all been having, isn't it?
I saw it.
I said, hey, look at this clip, and he said, fake news, and I said, no, it's news, no context, and I said, no, look, it's the whole speech, and he said, he's only joking, and I said, no, look, he literally says,
Oslo. I love you.
Well, that's what I'm here for, because I think that the left, we do our best work when we're laughing and we're joyful, and we remember that that our superpowers, our strongest superpower is joyful resistance. So I like to join panels that are like really tense and just break up the tension, because then everyone does their best work in these debates and does their best advocacy when they're laughing and having fun.
That's amazing. That's so cool. I love that. I go live every single day, 7 days a week from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. And it does get intense sometimes. So anytime you want to pop by, I'm sure we could use the relief. So I gave you a follow. Hopefully you'll give me a follow and pop in sometime if you see it getting a little crazy in here.
Yeah, it's good to laugh. It's good to poke fun in a kind way. I try to not be too mean, but I'm a little sassy sometimes, you know.
Oh, I love sassy.
And that really gets them. Sometimes they'll get, you know, I'll tell them like statistics or something, and they'll just be like, "Well, why am I arguing with a puppet?" Show your face. They like to say, "Show your face," and I say,
"This is my face.
Camera.
This is my face."
This is my face. What do you mean?
Oh my God.
Oh, well, you can't. I told you the other day, even though the greatest things happened in a long time.
Are you enjoying your TikTok time?
I'm just, like I said, I've only been here for 3 weeks, so I'm just meeting people, and you know,
Are you
panels.
Are you having fun being on TikTok?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of really nice, wonderful people, and then there's a lot of really nasty people, but you know, we seem to be keeping them in check, okay? The thing about the nasty people is they don't know what they're talking about a lot of the time.
I know. I talk to them every day. They're really.
The new one seems to be that Bill Clinton, the reason that everything that's going on is Bill Clinton's fault.
You mean it's not Joe Biden's fault?
Talking point, but it's really been their talking point for like a decade at this point.
Every day I hear, "What about Biden? What about Biden?" Every time you ask him a question, "Well, what about Biden?" I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a new day, a different Clinton. Pretty soon they'll be saying, you know, what's the daughter?
Chelsea? Chelsea?
Yeah, oh, wow. Did you hear what Chelsea Clinton said? Or did when she was 9?
Oh.
And then all of a sudden they'll be blaming rap music on Bill Clinton. You know. Or not Bill Clinton. Wait, what's his name? Something. Oh my gosh, what's his name?
Who? I'll help you.
He's got great hair. He's the musical funk artist.
Not gray, great.
Great. He's got great hair. It's like really.
Are you talking about his brother Roger?
No. He's a funk music artist from like the 80s. 70s.
George Clinton?
George Clinton, yes. All of a sudden we talk about George.
Oh God.
Anyone with the name Clinton, it's like, you know, different day, different Clinton.
Everybody in the chat's wanting you to see what wants to get my tagline. That not my tagline, but people come up on my live all the time and say, "What about Biden?" And I hold the I out really long, like, "What about Biden?" And they want you to do it.
Okay, but here I have to go, so I'll do it if you drop me while I'm doing it.
Okay.
While I'm holding the I, okay?
Okay.
What about
Any more questions about who Oslo?
Oh my God, I love him. It sounds like, anyway. I love that. Drop me while I'm saying the I. That was fan-fucking-tastic.
He's amazing.
Oh my God.
You understand, whoever that is definitely has been doing this for a long time.
I know.
I have not seen a single, like somebody that does,
Puppeteering.
writing and stuff like that. I have not seen in the couple weeks that I've met him and seen him in different lives. I've not seen him make a single misstep. It's one thing not to do that in a video. He can do that in a live.
Yeah, where they stay in character.
Right.
Yeah. He never breaks character. Yeah. God, that was fucking funny. Oh my God, I loved it. I want him here every day. I want him here every day.
He might be related to Elmo. You might not be wrong.
I'm definitely going to clip the What About Biden. Y'all best believe.
Oh my Lord, he's incredible. No, you got to go watch his videos. His videos are great. You got a lot of.
I'm going to be sure real quick. I have to run to the potty while she's coming up, but I'll be right back.
Deidre, you got pulled up and put to work.
I'm so sorry. I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
That's all right. You're good. I didn't realize I was still in the box. I was actually letting Diava know that I had messaged Oslo and said, hey, come to this live. People want to meet you.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did the same thing.
Oslo is the best, isn't he? And by the way, someone asked and I replied, I did clip that. So I'll post a video of that. I'm sure Diva will clip it, but I'm not listening, y'all. Sometimes she don't do it when she says she's gonna. But I got that when I record, so I'm gonna do it. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's done so many cool things. I mean, in a short period of time, he's done so many cool things on his app.
He's so awesome. I love him. I actually, so today is my 100th episode of my Good News show, and I wanted to be kind of special. So I was like, well, let me text some people and see if they can join. He's one of them. If he can make it, he said he would. So we'll see if he gets there. But while I'm up here, guys, we have 571 people in here. Please make sure you continue to hit that screen. We're doing really good on the likes. Make sure to keep sharing the live. We're doing great on the shares as well. If you have not done your daily heartbeat, please don't forget to do that. After you do the heartbeat, go in and collect your points. Make sure that you are the top person on Diava's team if you can be. Please also do make sure to gift the panel, especially Del. You know he does a great job, even though some people, Nutty, say he doesn't. No, Nutty's great too. All of you are fantastic. Make sure to contribute to the gifting goal or subscribe to Diava's channel. If you would like to contribute a little more directly, Diavatalks at Venmo or Cash App. And as you all do know, Val also does have his pay links in his bio. Please make sure you show everybody some love here. You're so appreciated, and they do this because of you guys and vice versa. So it's a good relationship we have. But welcome back, Diva.
Thank you so much. The Oslo made me have to pee so bad. He sounds like I know it's not because I know Jack Black is older, but he just reminds me of like if Jack Black was trying to do a character voice. But I know Jack Black's not a puppeteer, so I'm sure it's not him. But
it's not just a normal puppet voice either. Whoever's
Yeah.
behind that voice has a lot of intelligence.
Yes, and a lot of experience.
A lot of experience.
And thank you to whoever sent the bat signal. Everyone that sent bat signals, I saw a couple people put that they DM'd him and everything. So whoever reached out, thank you so much. That was such a treat.
I reached out.
I'm so grateful. Thank you. That was so fun. Mitri, is there anything else you want to say? I didn't mean to put you right to work, but I had to pee so bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Look, that's what I'm ready for. No, I just wanted to come up here and tell you I also sent that signal just to see. So I was just trying to let you know that he said he would come here if he could. And apparently the time freed up and here he was. So
Everybody put your guess in the comment who you think it is.
I'm telling you, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I have my feelings. This is somebody I know. They live in LA.
Who do you think it is? I want to know who you think it is.
My thinking, I don't want to give it away for a reason, because I don't want them to actually be given away.
I see what you're saying.
And so my thing is, but I'll give everybody the lines that I'm going down. I believe this is somebody that has worked in that industry for a long, long, long time.
Okay.
And is very, you know what I'm saying, and is very good at it, and is very good at puppeteering.
I think it's great. I fucking love it. I totally want to know, but I don't want to know too. I absolutely, the curious side of me wants to know like right now. But the other part of me loves trying to figure it out too. So.
You know what? Don't call out spoiler alert if y'all ever think you know who it is, because I don't want Santa unmasked. Okay.
Yeah.
I already went through that shit once when I was younger, so I don't want to go through it again. Oslo is perfect.
Oslo's Oslo. It should always be Oslo.
Yeah, I agree.
That's right.
And the Curious Red Monster, for those who don't know, you watch his videos, you'll find out.
Oslo just makes me happy. And right now, happy's really a good thing.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, and somebody well educated in the arts too. I mean,
yes.
You're supposed to ride out into that song. Do every word.
Definitely an LA. Yeah. Allie, hi.
Hi. As an actor, I can respect Oslo. He is so fucking funny. Honestly, I saw him on Johnny's Live first. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, someone's on here like doing an Elmo thing for politics. And if you ever get a chance, go watch him versus Trad. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Oh, Trad, that man boils my gears, but I would love to see Oslo.
Especially if Johnny brings up one of his puppets or like his dinosaur thing.
Oh, Reptar.
Just loses it.
Yep.
But also, when you're talking about Les Mis, fun little fact, when I was in drama school, we started every day singing that song. And during his administration, we were told towards the end of it, if you can't find passion, just act like you're talking to him. And I have heard rumors that one of the cast members, while singing the song every time, was looking at him.
Oh, no doubt. Because he doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. He's the villain in that story.
Right.
Like it was like when he did the Star Wars thing, the AI of him holding a lightsaber, the red lightsabers. I'm like, dude, no.
I'm like, you do know that's the Sith, right?
That's bad, right?
He's the bad guy.
Red is bad.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, it's really funny. Also, it's funny. Obviously, as an actor, I respect it. Being able to
stay in character. Mm-hmm.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, like I said, it's one thing to do it in a video, right? Because you can retake, you know what I'm saying? No, to do it live in these lives is insane.
And never break character, yeah.
It's a lot harder when especially if you're like a theater actor, it's a hell of a lot harder because you don't get any mess ups. TV and stuff that is recorded, you can do over.
Right, live theater's whole different ballgame.
You can do over. But the second you step on stage, that is it. Like, what happens is what happens.
Yep.
But,
well, anything else, Allie? I have a ton of people waiting to come up today.
Just saying how much I respect Oslo for doing what he does.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming up. See you tomorrow. Oh boy, there's a lot of people. Wow.
Just bring about 3 at a time.
Yeah. Chris, how are you?
Hello, Queen.
Hi, how are ya?
How are you?
Good.
Oh my God. So let me just say something for the punk that was in here first off, the 19-year-old that you cooked for, the Catholic religion. First of all, let me tell you something, dude. Organized religion is a crutch for simple-minded people that need strength in numbers. Let's get that right.
Oh.
Okay? I just lost my train of thought. Christ, that took me out.
Don't be nervous. You're okay.
No, I'm not nervous. No. But that's exactly what it is, organized religion. So, I've never been a fan of it. I think it's crap that you need a book that's 2,000 years or older to tell you how to be a good human being.
Be a decent person, right?
Yeah, I don't get that. You need to refer to the Bible. You need to refer to the Catholic book to tell you what's right and what's not. This is ridiculous. And like Trump with Lemiz, they didn't get it.
They don't get it.
Well, they don't get it. And like you said, Val, by the way, Val, I love you, dude. Thanks, girls. You're amazing.
Isn't he great?
There shouldn't be, and MAGA, jump in here if you want, a religion in government. And that's what Trump did. He made a department that's religious in government. Right, Val?
Yeah, it's a no-no.
Right. Yeah. So what are you doing? Yeah, anyway.
They don't care.
A ton more to say, but that was the priority. It frustrates. Listening to Diava's live, everybody's screaming at the phone. I mean, they are, because Meg is so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't get it. It's just the way it is. So, hang in there, guys. Oh, thank you, Chris.
We're hanging, Chris. Thank you.
You got it. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right.
Bye, love. Thank you. I had another one come up, but they didn't connect.
They dropped. Whoever it was.
Nelson, hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to say between you and Val, it's a shame to invite you to a banquet because you leave no crumbs. You leave no crumbs. You're while I've been say here and say, okay, y'all ask for it.
Right?
Oh yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. I got to give you and Val both big ups today.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir. And I just want to stop it for a minute, so you can drop me down.
Thank you, Nelson. I appreciate you. Thank you for your daily support. Oh, I didn't know you were going to talk again. I'm sorry, honey. Oh, I feel so bad. God. Mr. Logic, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
You guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Awesome. Kind of an honor to be on the same panel with Nelson.
I know, right? Is he so awesome?
All right, can you hear me better now? Sorry about that.
Yeah, there's just a slight delay, but I think it's okay.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. So I've been hearing some of the comments about the Marines deploying to Pendleton. Of course, I'm your local Marine vet. Didn't do everything in the Marine Corps, but I did actually participate in some riot training when I was in Okinawa because we had people from the island of Okinawa surround our base once after some Marines went out down and committed a heinous crime. And
We're not
No.
law enforcement.
Mm-mm.
And I get the show of force. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can actually relate to where Pete Hegseth is coming from with, getting back to being warriors and battle and all that good stuff and everything. But this is the opposite direction.
Yes. Not against the American people.
Yeah, so I can get behind him every time he says it's about warriors, it's about training and everything. It's not what he's saying. It's the way that they're executing it. That's just very appalling. And you're hearing a lot of veterans speak out against it. We're not happy with it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what would happen if I was ordered to shoot a fellow countryman. I just can't imagine.
I think the worst part about this is the no orders part of this.
Right.
Yeah, there's really no ROE on it or ROI beyond containment. And there's an old saying in the military. If you want to send, if you want something secured, send the Army. If you want something bombed, send the Air Force. If you want something pregnant or destroyed, send the Marines. And I was surprised that it was the Marines that were going in, to be honest with you.
Well, they're mission specific. They're right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a mission specific.
So I'll tell you, I was in 29 Falls, California during the Rodney King riots in April of '92. That's far away from Camp Pendleton or anywhere else, but we were placed on temporary standby or, wait and see.
Right.
And it ended up being Camp Pendleton, same unit, as a matter of fact, 1st Marine Division, 7th Marines that are in there now. And again, those Marines were basically there to set up a perimeter to keep people from getting into the trouble zone. And that's what they did in '92. And if they do anything more than that here, then this president has seriously overstepped.
Yeah, because the Rodney King was riots.
Yeah, it was. I was stationed in 29 Falls, which is about 2 hours away from LA at the time, and we were ready. We were sitting around doing nothing, but we were ready. But all I'm telling you is my worst case scenario for this is that something does happen and one of those Marines or a group of Marines get pushed in the wrong direction and have to defend themselves and do what they do instinctively on today or tomorrow, and then we have a military parade on Saturday. It's terrible optics.
Yes.
Optics.
Yeah.
That's my concern, because as well as I do. I mean, they're not a needle. They're a blunt object.
Yep. When you're a hammer, everything's a nail. It's one of our many sayings we have. But I just wanted to come up and give that commentary.
I appreciate it.
MAGA coming up here talking about I support the troops and I support the troop this and I almost joined, which by the way are anyone in the military's least favorite words to hear. There's no ribbons or medals for almost joined. So, just keep these guys in check. And if you are on a live or something and you want to send me a bad signal, and this goes out to everybody on a live, if I'm not working or busy, I will jump on and I will talk logically with that person and let them know how the military actually works.
All right. I appreciate that, Mr. Logic.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you your thoughts on them detaining, attacking basically Senator Padilla and kicking him out of the press room for Kristi Noem and then handcuffing him in the hallway?
When I hear about senators or even Congress, people in Congress getting arrested, all I think of is the Roman Empire, where, that's how power changed hands in the Roman Empire. And I think of Saddam Hussein standing up and saying, everyone who, if I call your name, step outside the room, you're being arrested, without any understanding of why or how. And we keep telling the right that we're heading towards a dictatorship, and they just don't hear it. All they say is, well, he's a strong guy. But that's my thoughts. We're heading that way. We are heading into a dictatorship. And if we don't win the midterms, we will be in a dictatorship before this presidency is over.
100%. I agree. I just want to know your thoughts. Thank you, Mr. Logic.
Yeah, we can't be arresting lawmakers.
No.
Don't get me wrong. Many people in Congress have been arrested, and duly so, for crimes and misdemeanors, inappropriate things, but not for practicing their First Amendment right and what they're elected to do.
Not for asking a question in his state for where his constituents live.
Exactly.
Because he is the representative of the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
In his case, it'd be hundreds of thousands.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, I can't believe what I'm seeing. You know, I love my country. I am a patriot, and I think that means a different thing to me than it does a lot of people. And
Yeah.
I've got 3 grown kids in this world, and they're all in their 30s and 20s, and you know, I sometimes feel bad for what we've done for them.
Me too.
Hard, and here we are.
I agree. I have kids. I have adult kids too. My son's 31, my daughter's 28, and my twins are 11. And this is some really scary shit.
It really is. It really, really is.
But thank you for coming up. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me. Love you guys as always.
Love you too. Thank you so much. And Bones, you're wrong yet again. Do you see Bones' comment? He busted into the press conference without identifying who he was. Mad she is doing her job. Have you seen the footage, Bones, where he says, I am Senator Padilla? She served in the Senate. She served in Congress with him.
Yeah, tell me you just watched Fox News without telling me you just watched Fox News. Sir, there was a million camera angles on this thing. Quit it.
Good God. Do I need to bring it up and show you? Bones, do I need to show you, honey? Because I will bring it up to prove you wrong.
Talk about somebody using his name against him.
God. I mean, come on. Are we living in a like La La Land or something?
The Purple Lion Ranch is my friend. I know it.
Oh, yeah, he is. All right, I'm pulling up the video just for you, Bones. Put it on the big screen. Hi, Michael. All right. Let's go. Oh, we gotta do the sound. Hold on. I'm gonna pause it and turn my audio up because it's really low. It sounds a little bit low. Sorry. I'm telling you, I told you I've had computer effing issues all day. Hopefully you can hear it. Here we go. Did you hear him say that he was there live on the camera, so he stood in front of the camera? So tell me again, Bones, where he said he didn't identify himself. He said, I'm Senator. I want to ask a question about the da-da-da-da.
Well, like you said before, not to mention that she knows him. She served in Congress with him. He's a senior senator.
So So for those of you who hadn't, oh, Bones is coming up. Jesus Christ, I can't take him very long, but
Well, I can't respond to you in the notes. One of your mods mute me every time I put one comment up. But Dave, if you look at this, he is being escorted out of the room when he yells who he is. So he has already been.
that's not the first time he said it.
He doesn't, sir. You can't ask him to
That's the
leave.
first time you. Hold on, I'm talking to Diab.
Oh, I don't know. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck
You
you.
can't,
I'm talking to Diab.
you can't ask him to leave, sir. Anybody that can look at that, and I said this earlier, I don't care if it was a Republican senator. I don't care if it's a Democratic senator. That cannot happen. That is a representative of the people in his own state, in a building that he offices in, doing his job. If you don't like it, get the hell out. That's really how I feel about it. This is one of the most disgusting things I've seen in U.S. history.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you think that because all this woman is doing her job.
And so was he.
That's
So
what I
was
think.
he. He was doing his job. He's a representative of the people. He was doing his job too.
Guys, it sounded like Bones lost his spine.
They will fucking defend anything. It's so gross. They'll twist themselves into a fucking pretzel. It's gross.
Wow.
Can you imagine defending that? She was doing a job at the press conference. And he was there doing his job, asking her questions at her press conference.
She's not an elected official. He is.
If it would have been a Republican senator, they would have wanted whoever that was home. Give me a break. It's only because it was a Democrat. They're like, oh, no. So stupid. Opie, hi.
Good afternoon or good evening. So I was sitting around today. I can't really do much as far as like go run out and protest here and there and fly across the country and do this and that with my kids and my family and everything and all the responsibilities that I have at home. But I decided to resurrect something I used to do as a kid. And make a little booklet like a zine. I don't know if you remember what zines were back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Little art magazines, little jingles, little poem books and stuff like that, and leave them around and stuff like that for people to find and look at and maybe do something with on their own. So I started this is a rough draft of the first one that I'm coming up with. Let me turn my camera around here. There we go. So here's the first page to cover. It says resist fascism with a little Luigi sticker on it.
Did you draw that?
I didn't draw the Luigi, no.
Oh, I was going to say, oh my God.
And then my second page is you're in a cult, dummy. And then on the inside, it's kind of hard to see, but it's easier to see in person. But it's the first they came for the communist poem from the H-Cost
Mm-hmm.
that the Pastor Martin wrote. But then I was having trouble, and I was thinking I would look for input from you and whoever was on the panel tonight. I have I have 3 more pages. 2 if I do one really big. I didn't know if anybody had any ideas. I can't write the whole Constitution in here because I think that's something they would need, but I can do a little bit. So I was just wondering if anybody had any interesting things that I should add, maybe like a poem or a picture of some sort, or any good ideas.
You want to reference the Constitution? Just put
We the people.
There we go. Okay. Yeah.
Or this, which was my background earlier. Hold on, let me show you. Maybe that'll help. It's like we the people have had enough.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. I can definitely do that. That looks cool. All right. That's a great idea. Thank you so much. And then, I'm going to make color copies and cut them out and leave them around where I'm from.
Awesome. Love it.
Anonymously.
And also, real quick before you go, well, not before you go, but another thing for Christy Noem, not to say that she didn't know him or he didn't identify himself. he's a ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee subcommittee on immigration, citizenship, and border safety. Christine Nome, who knows who he is?
Yeah, but she definitely knows who he is.
Thank you, Opie. That's a good idea. I like that. I think you did a really great job.
Thanks. Yeah, it's just my way of trying to do something.
Hey, this is my way of trying to do something. It's all I can do too.
All right. Have a great night.
You too, hon. Thank you. Standing tall, how are you? She's lying through her new teeth. Hi, yeah, I can hear you barely.
You're very quiet for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, me too.
It's this cheap headphones that I have, so please forgive me. I'm hoping I can speak aloud. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have a question. As we the people, can we bring any kind of suit against the House of Representatives?
Not that I know of.
No.
Okay. I mean, our regression to the government is built per protest, right? That's the way our Constitution is built.
Because the representatives in the House are our representatives. We have to petition our representatives.
No, because I was talking about the right. I mean, I was talking about the Republicans. Okay, so we can't, as the people, can't bring any suits against them.
Right. Yeah. No. If say it's a senator or a House person from your state that you have an issue with, you can actually regress the state too. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the states can recall their senators or their House members if they're not doing their jobs.
I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
What possible role, if you could answer, what possible role do the ICC play, if they play any role in this whole thing with the Trump administration?
ICC.
International Criminal Courts.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Not a lot, you know what I'm saying, because all countries are sovereign.
Right.
But if they break international laws, which is
likely,
if it hasn't already happened, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So if they break international laws, then the ICC puts forward, and then countries, that really limits his movement, because if the ICC were to put charges to him, like just going to Canada would be a problem, because Canada will ship his ass to the ICC. You know, so these are the things, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that are kind of crazy. And I mean, I don't know if y'all paid attention, but there's been a resolution put forth in Canada's Parliament to make him unable to attend the G6 in Canada.
I put in the comments. I don't know if it's true. I think maybe a fact check. Poopy Pants is pissed because he keeps hearing about everybody's going to be celebrating Obama Day or honoring Obama on his birthday, and he wants to put out an EO that if you mention him on June 14th, you could be arrested.
Well, I looked to see, I went straight to the whitehouse.gov to see if he put out any type of EO that states that, and I couldn't find anything.
Okay. That's why I put it in. I didn't think it was true, because it would be, I saw it on here on TikTok. Somebody had posted it on TikTok. So anyway, I was just asking. Okay, love, that was my questions. I
saw your question in the comments, so I looked for it. And I figured you'd come up and ask, so I wanted to have an answer for you.
Yeah, I wanted the other two questions answered first, because, like I said, I heard a lawyer talking about the question about the We the People might be able to bring some kind of suit or some kind of going against the House of Representatives first, and we address it with We the People, and then we go down each branch. Once that first suit or judge or something against the House of Representatives, we can go down in each branch. I wanted to make sure, but I don't know. Lawyers, y'all know more.
I mean, there's the Constitution.
Unless I'm wording it wrong, I think I
it might be, but I just wanted to, because I heard him mention it last week, and I was trying to get on the panel with Val to, y'all last week to ask. But
I just don't see where that would be possible.
Yeah.
no, you answered me. I thought it was an out, so you know. So okay, I just wanted to find out. All right, I'm not gonna take too much time. I love you, darling. I love you, Diava.
Love you back.
I love you too, and thank you so much, Val. I appreciate everything.
No problem.
I love y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate your questions. You always have good questions. And I did see your question, so I Googled it. I actually didn't Google it. I went straight to whitehouse.gov to the EOs to see if it was on there, but I couldn't see anything. Hopes, how are you?
I'm good. How's everybody there?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, trust me. That's all. I feel like I'm going crazy half the time. But I was wondering, isn't there anything we can do before the midterms? Because by the midterms, it's no telling. Look what he did 5 months. By the midterms, there's no telling what he'll do.
Not really. I mean,
Because the phone lines are busy.
I mean, we can. I believe we can make Congress act or remove Congress legally. How do we
That's
remove
good.
Congress?
That's good news. Every time you're calling Congress, the lines are busy. That's good.
That's really good news. That's true.
Well, that is good news. But I just like to talk to somebody and tell them that this man's crazy.
Yes. They are trying to break us. The Purple Lion Ranch said they're trying to break us. Like, I understand. And some days I feel like I'm almost there, and then I get rejuvenated because if they break us, they win. So we just have to keep fighting, and we have to keep calling, and we have to keep writing and emailing and leaving messages. And if their office is overrun with calls, that's a good sign.
Well, I'm not giving up. There's no way I'm giving up because I will not let everybody, this whole America, go to hell like they're like over there in what I'm trying to think of which one. Oh, Russia.
Oh no, we can't let it get to that.
Exactly.
And don't forget that if the phone lines are busy or you can't leave a voicemail, you can always email and you can write a letter.
I have emailed, and I've gotten stuff back, and it's always a form letter. It never answers anything that I address, but I keep sending them. And I keep calling.
I can't believe they let it get that far in Los Angeles, letting people get shot. Let people get people with rubber bullets.
I know. They're the ones that are agitating. They're the ones that are doing the agitating. It's not the protesters. It's the people, tear gassing them and hey Josh, tear gassing them and shooting rubber bullets at them, and they're the one of the flashbangs that started the first fires.
That's over there worries me too. Seeing them do stupid stuff like that over there. But also, Mitri, I want to wish you, congratulate you on your 100th episode today. I didn't get an invitation.
Girl, I didn't send it out. Anybody that wants to drink tonight.
Oh, I thought you had already got it. But okay, you can drop me down, sweetie. I love you, and thank you for listening to me.
Of course, thank you for coming up and sharing your thoughts with us. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I love when it gets to friendly time because then it's just Like there's there was 1,000 people in here earlier. But when it gets friendly time, all the riffraff leaves.
No,
They understand the camaraderie.
yeah, and guys, please stop with the misinformation. Look, no attorney in this country can impeach the president
Or the Congress.
or the Congress. That can't happen. Guys, this is simple to look up. Article 1, Article 2, and Article 3 explain the process.
Do you guys want to hear Padilla real quick on live?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Come on, unmute. I told you technology in me today is not working. Hold on. The remote batteries just decided to die. It is not a good day for me.
Homeland Security said the Secret Service believed that you were an attacker, and the Department of Homeland Security called this political theater. What's your response, and what's your version of what happened?
Well, first of all, that's ridiculous. It's a lie, but part for the course for this administration, right? So here's the stage. Like, I was in the federal building here in Los Angeles for a scheduled briefing. Just as one of my colleagues and I had to go all the way to Guantanamo Bay to begin to get information about that facility being used as a detention facility, they've been non-responsive to requests for information. And so I had scheduled, they approved a briefing with representatives of the Northern Command in that federal building. We were there prior to the 10:30 original appointment dates when we got wind that Secretary of Homeland Security is going to be down the hall at a press conference. And our briefing was now delayed because of that press conference. So since the secretary has been non-responsive, I figured let me go over and listen to what she has to say. Maybe we can glean some information here.
So let me make sure I understand that.
So the whole time, right? We're the whole time being escorted in this federal building by somebody from the National Guard, somebody from the FBI. I've gone through screening. This is a federal building. And so tell them, let's go listen to the press conference. They escort me over to that room. And I'm sitting in the back of the room, behind the cameras, behind the reporters, listening. And at one point, it was just too much to take. Not the first, but the second attack on the political leadership of California and this notion that Donald Trump and Kristi Noem had to come in and rescue the people of Los Angeles from Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. It was too much. And so I spoke up. I introduced myself and said I had a question. But they said I wasn't wearing my pin. My polo says United States Senate. There was no threat. There was no lunging. And I raised my voice to ask a question, and it took maybe half a second before multiple agents were on me.
The video clearly shows, and you can hear in the audio, that you identify yourself as Senator Padilla. She said you barged into the room, or you basically broke into the room. I'm paraphrasing here. Just set the record straight on that.
I didn't barge into the room. As I mentioned, I was in a different conference room, a couple doors down the hall. I let it be known that I'd like to go listen to the press conference. The folks that were escorting me in the building walked me over. I didn't even open the door. The door was open for me. And I spent a few minutes in the back of the room just listening in until the political rhetoric got to be too much to take. So I spoke up.
Have you seen the video yet? Well, you can look here, Senator. Have you actually watched it yourself? When you watch this, and let's go through this together. Describe to me what you're seeing. What's happening here?
Yeah, again, multiple people forcibly removing from the room. I know I was trying to do two things at once, trying to get my question out while trying not to lose my balance. They first asked me to, get down on my knees. But growing up where I grew up, you know what happens if you don't obey law enforcement. And so I began to go on my knees to the extent that they would let me, because they were literally handling me at the same time. And I went from getting on their knees to flat on the floor, which I tried but wasn't able to easily because of the folks handling me. They put handcuffs on me. So yes, I was handcuffed.
These are FBI agents. Did they tell you who they were?
They wouldn't identify themselves. And I kept repeatedly asking themselves, why am I being detained? No answer. Why am I being detained? No answer. Why am I being detained? No answer. Then they get me back up on my feet and we start walking. Don't tell me where we're going.
You were handcuffed at this point.
Absolutely. Am I being led back outside? I don't know. Am I being taken to a cell? I don't know. They were not communicative until
Senator Padilla.
I'm sure Secretary Noem's team figured out I was who I said I was, and finally said, let him go.
And so they let you go. They took the handcuffs off. What happened next? There were reports that you met with Secretary Noem for 15 minutes after the press conference was over.
So this is a little surreal. So we took the handcuffs off. The person that came over said, well, if you'd like to meet with the secretary, you can do so after the press conference is over. Sure. I've been dying to get information from the department for months. I'll take this opportunity and see what I can glean. Then I was asked, but the other briefing that you're here for, the previously scheduled briefing, would you still like that briefing? Of course, that's why we came. That one never happened because the representatives from the command all left. Again, didn't give us an excuse, so hope for another opportunity to learn from them. Like, again, what's the mission of the National Guard here? What training have what's normally state National Guard, now federalized National Guard service women and men, if they're going to be out in communities, if they're going to be interfacing with civilians? This is not a normal job for them. And by the way, they're being taken away from other critical missions in the state of California to do this function. Then we hear the Marines are coming. For what purpose? What's the mission? What type of training preparation have they had?
Did you get answers to any of these questions?
None. And so, again, did have an opportunity to sit with the Secretary Noem for a few minutes. You think she might have started the meeting with an apology. What happened? Of course not. And so I began to ask the question I was trying to ask in the press conference. For all the touting of the Trump administration of going after violent criminals. So there's no disagreement there. If that's all you were doing, there would be no debate, there would be no discussion. But what's happening in reality is far different than that, because we hear story after story after story of non-violent migrants who, many are working in very essential jobs for our economy, being rounded up. Right, the cruelty with which they're doing this, the increased cruelty with which they're doing this, escalating here in Los Angeles over the course of the last week. You know, flashbangs, when you're trying to target one person, National Guard over, not at the request of a governor, hasn't happened since 1965. And so, of course, they're instigating, trying to create the response and a reaction from community, and we'll point to anything to further escalate the situation. It's wrong and it's counterproductive.
Senator Padilla, we're here on my colleague Ari Melber's program, The Beat, on MSNBC, and I know Ari wants to ask you a question. Ari, go right ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob, and thanks to the Senator for joining us. You've now described the incident here for the first time. Do you view it as excessive force? As Jacob referenced, the administration is saying they were trying to basically do
He's shaking his head,
safety
yes.
or security. Do you view it as excessive force or an effort to intimidate the opposition party?
But personally, I think it was excessive. I was in no way, lunging or threatening in any way. Again, consider where we were in a secure federal building. I was being escorted. So definitely an overreaction, uncalled for, but it's not about me. Again, this is the biggest point. It's not about me. If they're willing to do this to me, a United States Senator representing the state of California, just to imagine how it's going with their immigration enforcement on the streets when they show up at restaurants and are trying to detain a cook, or outside a Home Depot trying to detain a day laborer, or on the fields in Oxnard a couple of days ago detaining farm workers. You can just imagine. But that's the tone and approach that this administration has chosen to take. In many cases, I'm convinced it's unlawful and unconstitutional, and I have to do my job as a senator to insist on information and accountability and the rule of law.
And Senator, what do you think would be the right remedy then for this? We saw in the case of the mayor of Newark, who was, like you, sort of, as you, the one word we used was manhandled. He was arrested. He was charged. You were not. But then they dropped the case. He's suing them, seeking redress. Do you see this incident as closed, or do you think there is something more they must do to properly respect the co-equal branch of government at a time where the expansive use of federal forces from the National Guard and the Marines is also, beyond you, a big question? Do you think that more must be done, more accountability for the Trump administration for what happened today?
Look, again, it's not about me. I'm still processing what happened to me, but to the extent that we have shed more light on what they're doing and how they're doing it, the public deserves to be aware. To suggest that they have to come into Los Angeles to restore order. Look, Jacob, you know Los Angeles. It's a big, spread out city. The images that we've seen over the course of the last week of some vandalism, some violence, etc., that's wrong, and I denounce it. But it's very small and very contained in a big metropolis of the Los Angeles area. So the National Guard was not necessary. But folks have responded to that. It's the Trump administration continuing to escalate. A couple of days ago, he's saying that, well, things are better now that the National Guard has shown up. If things were better, why is he now considering sending in the Marines? They're continuing to escalate. It doesn't have to be this way.
Can you clarify for us, Senator Padilla, you were there to have this meeting with the Northern Command in charge of some of the troops that are on the ground here in Los Angeles. Did you ultimately have that meeting? Did you ultimately get any answers from Northern Command about, for instance, there's this hearing in the courts today, the state of California is suing the administration over the deployment of the troops to California. Did you get any indication one way or another whether Northern Command, the military, will respect the outcome of what Judge Breyer says in this court case today?
Well, that was one of the questions I had for them. But unfortunately, the briefing never happened. And so we never got an answer to that question.
Your colleagues are marching to the office of Leader Thune to demonstrate on your behalf, to call for justice for what happened to you. But those are your Democratic colleagues. Have you heard anything from a single Republican member of the U.S. Senate or the House about what happened to you?
I haven't spoken to my Republican colleagues yet. I will say there's two that at least sent a text message saying that they denounced what happened, checking to see if I'm okay. Senator Sheehy from Montana, Senator Curtis from Utah. But the point is this: if my colleagues are now at Leader Thune's office, this is a question I've been asking all my Republican colleagues since the beginning of Trump's term. When is enough enough? The audacity for how this administration has gone after their political agenda. You know, when I hear behind closed doors, well, once he gets, crosses a certain line, then we're going to start to rein him in. But they keep saying yes to every ask he makes, every nominee he puts forward. When is enough enough? When they feel no repercussions for putting a United States senator in handcuffs for the audacity to ask a question and to speak up for fundamental rights and due process. When is enough enough?
You became emotional when you came outside and spoke after this happened to you. And I want to make sure that I tell everybody specifically what it was that you were talking about when you teared up. You talked about farmers and cooks and day laborers. You spoke in Spanish. I've heard you often speak about your father who was a short order cook and your mother who cleaned homes. You grew up here in the Northeast San Fernando Valley in a neighborhood called Pacoima. You played baseball in high school. You went to MIT, and you came back and you became the leader of the city council, the youngest ever, first Latino. You went to the state senate. You became the Secretary of State of California, and now you're the senior senator from California. But why is it that? Why is it farmers and cooks and day laborers that put tears in your eyes?
Because I understand their plight. I understand their struggle. I understand their sacrifice to just find the American dream, a good opportunity, maybe a good job, the ability to raise a family and have the next generation have it a little bit better than you. And so for all the talk about immigration, the misinformation, disinformation about invasion,
he's tearing up again.
It's all BS coming from Trump. As I said before, if all they were going to do is target violent, dangerous criminals, true threats to our national security, that'd be one thing. Nobody has a disagreement there. But what's happening in practice is so many, yes, maybe undocumented immigrants, but who are otherwise law-abiding, peaceful, and hardworking. To think this administration changed policy for federal agents to enter schools, houses of worship, let alone workplaces. If immigrants are that bad, why is that where you're looking for them? And as I take a step back and take a deep breath, I get to remind everybody, this is the state of California. Not only the most populous state in the nation, the most diverse state in the nation, home to more immigrants than any state in the nation, mostly documented immigrants, legal immigrants, but yeah, there's a good number of undocumented immigrants. But this is also California, that's the largest economy of any state in the nation, fourth largest economy in the world. It's not despite the immigrant population, it's because of the contributions of so many immigrants as a workforce, as consumers, as entrepreneurs. If your interest is in improving safety of communities, facilitating thriving communities and economic growth. This is something to embrace, not to attack. But sadly, Donald Trump has had it since the first time he walked in and he came down the escalator at Trump Tower before the 2016 election.
Your mom and your dad were both immigrants from Mexico. When you look at the protesters on the streets that are standing up to, they started on Friday against the ICE raids. Now they're out there against the National Guard and against the Marines coming to the streets. Do you see yourself? Do you see your mom and dad and the protesters that are out there pushing back against this administration?
Yeah, I see not just families like mine, but families like most of the families that I grew up with. All right. And that was me back in 2006 during one of the many waves of a push for the modernization of our immigration laws. That was me in 1994, fresh home from college when we had Proposition 187 on the ballot here in California, a precursor to a lot of the Trump anti-immigrant rhetoric when then Governor Pete Wilson, down the polls, up for re-election, chose to play that immigrant scapegoating card. It was that measure that caused people like my parents who had been here literally for decades with no sense of urgency to naturalize and become citizens to finally do so that they could register and vote, realizing that while their past may be in another country, they were firmly established here, their future was here, and they ought to assimilate completely. And it was that measure that got me and so many other people in my generation finally involved in the political process. I think California, as a result, is much different today than it was in 1994. And we're probably doing our part to lead not just on immigrant rights issues, but access to healthcare issues, quality of education issues, tackling climate change, protecting, reproductive rights and marriage equality, and so much more. And we're the fourth largest economy in the world. Again, this is a model, a recipe, a playbook for other states, if not the country, to follow, not fear.
Both Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom, who have stood up on your behalf, spoken out on your behalf in the wake of this happening to you, have talked about how they believe that this is in some form a test case for the Trump administration to do this in other places, in other cities, to ignore the will of the people and the democracy, the democratically elected representatives of the United States government. You share that feeling?
Absolutely. And we've been saying so almost on a daily basis since the escalation, the Trump escalation of last weekend, whether it's press events, whether it's in committee, whether it's in floor speeches in the Senate. Because if you look at how the administration has gone about trying to justify, unacceptably in my opinion, but trying to justify the federalization of the National Guard, the deployment of the National Guard over the wishes of, forget the governor and the mayor for a second, the sheriff of Los Angeles County and the chief of police of Los Angeles City. The language that they use, the mechanisms they use are not Los Angeles specific, and they're not California specific. And if they're allowed to do this in Los Angeles, they can and they will do this in any corner of the country.
You made it a point to encourage people to protest this Saturday outside of the federal building. Peacefully. Why did you, and it was the last thing that you said after you came out, you encouraged people to go out and take to the streets as part of these large-scale rallies that have been playing on Los Angeles on the streets, but also on Saturday scheduled across the nation. Why did you make that your final thought and parting words from the federal building today?
Because, look, I was at the Emergency Operations Center last night getting the latest brief from Chief McDonald and other members of the city family. And from what I've heard from county officials, state officials, and now local officials, things seem to be quieting somewhat during the course of this week, but the chatter that's out there is people are getting ready for a number of protest events this weekend that coincide with not just the anniversary of the Army, but this vanity parade in Washington, D.C. And so
call it what it is.
Rights are a beautiful thing, and they need to be utilized. There's a lot of passion out there in some quarters, a lot of fear and anxiety in other quarters, a lot of outrage in other quarters. It's very patriotic to channel that and to speak up and to demonstrate. Let's do it peacefully, because that is our right. That's how maybe we shift public opinion, but we can't cower. That's what Donald Trump, he wants us to stay quiet and just stay home.
I know you spend your weekends here in Los Angeles. You're going to be out there this weekend on Saturday?
We'll see, because given the developments of today, we'll we'll see how folks are feeling.
And physically, just wanted before we go, are you doing okay? Are you hurting? How are you feeling?
I think the adrenaline's still rushing right now, so we may not know till tomorrow.
Senator Alex Padilla, thank you so much for joining us here first on MSNBC. Really appreciate it.
That was a great interview.
Well, that was real.
That was real. And you guys could see his face, but when he started talking, his eyes were welling up. And that's why I was welling up. I'm like, ugh. Because, you're talking about the cooks and the people in the fields and, stuff like that. Because that's where he came from. That's where my ex-husband's parents, my ex-in-laws, which I still call them my in-laws because they're wonderful people. They worked in a mushroom farm. They picked tomatoes. They did jobs that nobody else wanted to do. And they're just some of the best people I've ever known. And I still love my in-laws. And they still check up on me. They texted me happy birthday on my birthday a couple weeks ago, and like we've been divorced almost 15 years. They're such good people. And for these people to be dehumanized and being hunted down like animals, it's very, very upsetting. And just to see that raw emotion of him, I saw like my ex-husband, my brother-in-law, my in-laws from my ex-husband's side. His whole family's Mexican. Most of his family all live in San Antonio, and risk getting hunted. And it's just very upsetting what's happening.
I know, Diva. I feel like I'm not safe anymore with this administration. It's just, I keep arguing with my parents, right? They're supposed to be going on a cruise this coming Sunday, and they're still wheedling me to go with them. And I said, I'm not even going to do this no more. I'm even supposed to go to a wedding for September because my cousin's getting married in Florida. Now I'm changing my mind that I don't even want to go no more now because I feel like they're going to start to snap on me. They're going to snap on my entire family like they're doing right now. You know what I mean? And I'm scared for that. And that's why, like, I'm arguing with my parents. Like, they're not taking me seriously. It's like I'm telling them this type of stories, and it's like, oh, stop believing in this nonsense. And I'm like, you're calling me a joke.
Well, if you're on a cruise and are you leaving the country?
Yeah, they're going to be leaving the country on the cruise. They're going to be going to, I think, Bahamas to Mexico and such place. They're leaving the country. Well, first they're going to stop to Florida, and then they're going to head to the cruise is going to go to another different lining.
I would not come to Florida. I'm in Florida. Don't come here.
No, I know, Diava, and that's what I'm doing. I got to keep fighting with my parents. Like, no, I'm not going to this wedding. As much as I want to, go and stuff, but I can't. That's a racist state, and they're not understanding that, and they never will. It's like, I don't even know what to do anymore telling them the stuff without fighting. That's like the only solution I could do is just mentally and emotionally fight for myself to, not go with them.
Are your parents green card holders or are they citizens?
No, they're U.S. citizens. And to make things worse, Diava, they're also nobbling. I don't know if it's factual, but they're also taking away American citizens too. If that's not even happening, they could do that too.
Oh, they're absolutely detaining U.S. citizens for sure.
But, yeah, I figure so. And that's the thing. They're gonna detain my parents, and my parents, they're gonna be thinking like, no, that's not gonna happen to me. They're only doing that to U.S. citizens. But I'm telling them because they watch corporate media, and that's the problem. I tell them they don't care if you are a U.S. citizen or if you withhold a green card. They are going to snaffle you and take you into an unknown place.
Well, not only that, even the U.S. citizens that have driver's license, passports, birth certificates, there was one person they said they thought they were fake and held them for like 2 weeks.
Oh, yes, I heard about that. Yeah. They thought that the paperwork or the identification they were showing were fake. I absolutely heard about that. And it's so disgusting. Like, this is not fake. This is what our state IDs look like. We're not like we're in high school making fake IDs all over again. Like, we're showing true paperwork and identification, and the fact that you think that this is fake goes to show you that they are the problem to this country. They are the problem, and this is fascism.
Yeah, Jim, I do have a question. Do you hold a U.S. passport?
No, I haven't held any passports or anything because I'm just a regular U.S. citizen. I don't even vacation as much, Val.
Yeah, there's a reason I asked that. Do your parents hold a U.S. passport?
Yes, they do. They just recently renewed
Yeah,
their
I don't suggest taking a cruise in that situation if you don't hold a U.S. passport because then you're relying on your birth certificate.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay. So that would be my first problem. But if you hold a U.S. passport, that's not going to be as much trouble.
Oh, I see. Well, Val, I'm still not going to go regardless because I still don't want to take no chances.
Okay. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just trying to comfort you that if they hold a U.S. passport, they're probably going to be fine.
Oh, okay. I understand. Yeah. Well, that's a little bit better.
You should probably get a passport too, even if you're never going to travel. I got a passport. I got me and my kids' passports.
Yeah, maybe I would do that. Yeah. Maybe I would do that, Diablo. And it's just, they think, I just don't understand my parents. Like, I'm your son. Why do you not trust me? Why are you listening to corporate media spreading half-ass stories when they don't even tell the truth half of the time?
I feel the same way because my parents are MAGA, and everything I tell them, they tell me it's not true. Like, they don't believe anything I tell them at all.
But they still watch, like, the Foxes and the Newsmaxes.
My parents are OAN.
Oh, no. That's even worse. Oh, wow.
So they're like right down the rabbit hole. I mean, I'm talking. I have to tell you guys a real funny. You got to go, Val.
Yeah, no, in your sentence, Pastor.
I know.
I know there's hungry kids involved.
I know.
But yeah, I got to drop. I'm getting ready to.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna just tell a quick story. But thanks, Val, for hanging with me today. Real quick, I know you guys, there's a ton of people waiting to come up, and I'm sorry, I didn't know we were going to be listening to Padilla. I didn't know he was going to be live on TV. I didn't know all that, so sorry. But today, my mom called me over. This is the third day in a row because couldn't sign on to Amazon. Okay. Yesterday was a scam thing she got, and she was going to call it. And I'm like, no, don't call it. They're just fishing for your credit card number. So every day I'm over there because she needs some kind of help with technology or sending an email or something. So she called me today. She's like, I need you again. So I'm like, oh my God. So I went over and they were trying to order. My uncle was trying to order something on Amazon. And she goes, he found an e-bike for $110. But it's saying that the shipping is going to be like $193. I thought shipping was free with Amazon. And I said, not if it's coming from China. She's like, why would it cost $193? I'm like, oh, I don't know, because of Trump's tariffs? It's like 55% on all the goods coming over from China. And she goes, well, that would make it $300. It was $310 with the shipping. And she goes, well, that doesn't seem right. She's like, why would Amazon make us pay for the shipping? I said, because Amazon or Jeff Bezos needs another yacht, Mom. So he's going to pass that on to you. He's not going to eat the cost. He's going to pass it on to you. So that $100 e-bike that you found that was such a good deal is now $310. And I said, she goes, well, I think what she, and then my uncle's wife says, well, we can just buy American then. And I'm like, yeah, I said, she goes, well, we should just buy American then. I said, well, then that e-bike's going to be about $800, $900. She's like, well, we can't afford that. And I'm like, well, Trump's idea of having things built in America probably would have worked better had he built the manufacturing plants first and then put tariffs on countries so people would buy American. But we don't have manufacturing in this country anymore. We can't produce all the goods that we use. And my uncle, who's a MAGA too, it's her brother, he goes, yeah. He's like, that's why I live in Florida, because I lost my factory job in Maine. And I was like, oh my God. And so she was like, he goes, and then my mom literally said, it's like talking to MAGA on here. she says, well, Trump brought all the manufacturing back into the United States in his first term. So I'm like, no, he didn't. She's like, yes, he did. I said, Mama, I argue these points daily for a living. I've researched and the data does not support what you're saying. He did not. And I'm just like, and I'm like, why do you think Apple went to India? Why do you think? And they're like, for cheaper labor. And I'm like,
I know you wanted to like put something to your head and just whack yourself.
It's literally like talking to Trump supporters on this app. Like,
I know, yeah.
Oh, it's so incredibly frustrating. And then she was like, well, I guess we're not going to get the e-bike because they can afford that kind of shipping. $193 is just too much. And I'm like, thank you, Trump.
Yeah, they're basically saying, thank you, Trump, for giving me dirt to eat. So I can feed myself with just only dirt. That's how these Trump supporters they think of. They just don't care. They believe the scams. Look how they bought a Bible book. They bought a Trump steak. They went to a Trump school. They went to a Trump casino. All of that was a fail. He's a failed businessman and a fraud. And they just don't want to understand that. They never will.
It's just, I mean, it's like, oh, it's so frustrating because, I mean, why do people think MAGA are dumb?
Wait, that's it? Someone said that in the comments?
Yes.
I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, wow. That goes to show you how even dumber they are right now.
Oh, Lord. So it's just, but I mean, I'm telling you, it's so frustrating because these are my parents and they're just like, oh, well, why would we have to pay the tariffs? I'm like, because the companies aren't going to eat that. That eats into their profit. So they're going to pass it on to the consumers. I said, he tried to tell you the whole time on the campaign trail that these other countries were going to be paying the tariffs. But guess what? He lied again. And they're like, no, that's not what happened. Oh,
I know.
So I had to leave. I was just like, Mom, I gotta go. I gotta go do my show real quick, you know. But it was just like, it's so frustrating. It really is frustrating.
I know you just wanted to cave your head into something, Diava, because of them. I'm the same way with my parents. Now, my parents, they're not Republican, they're Democrat, but they just like don't pay attention to politics. So it makes me feel like they're like kind of like the centrist, in my opinion. And that's the terrible part. It's like,
oh no, mine are full on MAGA. Oh my God.
Yeah, it makes me feel like they're MAGA too in a way, but you know, they're not. But it makes me feel like that because it's, you know, it's terrible and stuff. I gotta like fight with them and say, listen, I'm not going on no wedding, especially for a racist wedding.
Right?
A racist date wedding.
Hold on. Hey, Booski said, Diava said, I am not getting paid for this conversation. I try to avoid. I told you, the only way I can maintain a relationship with my parents is if we don't talk about politics. But they wanted to know why the shipping was so expensive, so I had to tell them.
We have to tell the truth.
It was because of the tariffs. Because of the
Trump putting those tariffs in.
And they're like, why? And then he goes, why don't they tell us that they're shipping it from? Why don't they tell us where it's being imported from? I said, oh, it does. You just have to click on more info. And I found the name of it, the company. And it was like, I don't know. I'm not going to make it. But it was like a really long name. And she goes, so how do you know that's from China? And I'm like,
I know. It's crazy.
Someone take me away. So I'm doing a tutorial on Amazon for them. So I could tell them, I said, well, basically from now on, if you order an item that's $10 and the shipping is $50, it's probably coming from China. Okay, so get something else.
Right. I mean, that's the only thing you could tell them anyway, unless they're willing to say pay $50, then that's on them. That's a different story for a different conversation with them on this part, you know.
Literally, if I say the word Trump, they have to say no. Like no matter what it is, it's just like talking to Trump voters on here because it's so mind numbing.
That's because they want to make excuses for themselves. They're making excuses for Trump and themselves, and they want you to believe the excuses from Trump and themselves too when they say this.
And it was funny because she absolutely shut her mouth really quick when I said, I do this literally every day for a living. I have researched this heavily, and the statistics do not match what you're saying. And she just went, okay.
Yeah, you gagged her for good. You gagged her for good, Diava.
Oh my God. So, but it's really frustrating, but I kept my cool. You guys would have been really proud of me because I wanted to just pull my fucking hair out while I was sitting there, but I maintained my composure and I just explained, and then I got out of there really fast. I just gotta go.
I just don't know how you do it, Diava. It's amazing how you do it. I can't even show any patience with these Trump supporters. That's why it's just like
It's hard.
Oh, it's hard. It's really hard.
I can't even turn her on to MSNBC, let alone turn her on to Midas Touch. I can't turn my mom. They won't watch anything unless it's.
Unless it's all the way in. Okay, let me watch that. I'll believe the lies.
Is this the first? Okay, thank you, Jamaican Peruvian. I appreciate you coming up. I gotta run.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Bye bye. Ruben asked in the comments, "Is this the first president to hold a military parade?" Yes, because we don't do that in this country. Jesus Christ. All right, I gotta go. I'm like 20 minutes over. I'm sure the kids are gonna be out here any second because it is past their time to eat. But I love you guys. Thank you for hanging. Sorry for the people that didn't get up today, but we had the whole Padilla thing, and that took like 15-20 minutes. I'm sorry, but it was really important. We heard what he had to say about what happened today. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. Please come back tomorrow. I'll be back at 4 p.m. tomorrow to do this all over again. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. I couldn't do this every day without you. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Love you. Bye-bye. Come on. All right. YouTube and Twitch. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll do this all over again. I'm here every single day, 7 days a week from 4 to 7 p.m. See you later.